What's up? And there go the mic again, boo. You always be good, and then it's like soon as you get in here, cousin Mark is in the building. As soon as you get in here, it's like that mic just start jumping for some reason.
I'm sorry, Troy. I'm gonna do something about it one of these days.
I did something about it right now. I had to, man. I had to, had to do something about it. But what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of From the Sideline. I'm your host, Troy, and I'm back with the boys. What's up, fellas?
What's going
What's
on?
going on?
Yo,
What's up? You guys see, familiar faces back in the house. GK, are you with me? What's up, GK?
Yo, what's going on?
This is what I'm talking about. JF in the chat. Trent back in the building. What's up, Trent?
yeah, what up? What up?
G baby, how you feeling, G baby?
I'm good. Just every time Trent comes back on the show for whatever reason,
Who is
it
JF?
just gets nasty. Like I don't know if anybody else is paying attention to that, but
Nah, bro.
last time you was back, we spent an hour and 15 just going back and forth arguing.
Oh, Boo-Wop, you're still doing it. It's still doing it. It's still doing it.
Just wait till Friday, bro. Wait till Friday, bro.
We got Boo-Wop back in the building with his noise. You feel me? Cousin Marcus, how you feeling, baby?
I'm all right. What's going on?
I mean-
appreciate y'all having me.
Oh, word up. No, we finally got you in the building, after our little back and forth on TikTok,
Hey,
and
hey,
Discord
Mark.
chat.
Hey, Marcus, you got LeBron top 10?
Trent getting into it.
Say it again.
You have a LeBron top 10?
Like overall?
Like right now?
Yeah.
You do?
Boo-Wop, it's all over.
Oh, okay. Oh, I could have
I
sworn.
said I said he wasn't top 10 last season.
Just because he didn't miss the play. Just because he missed the playoffs.
They looked, and it's a lot of. Last year was like a great individual year. So
Whoa.
even though his production was great, like it was a lot of, especially when you include the playoffs. Like there's no way I couldn't justify him.
So the year Steph Curry missed the playoffs, he was playing MVP level. He won top 10 that season. They missed the playoffs.
Yeah, he was.
How?
He made the put. He at least made the one. He was more. If I'm comparing Steph and LeBron, he is more available.
Was he though? Because the reason they were in that position was because he missed games.
He missed 10 games out of 72. LeBron missed like
10?
damn near 30.
Didn't Brown play?
Matter of fact, he didn't even miss 10. He missed 9, and they went 2-7 without him.
But bro, okay, we get the best of like the what's the quote?
Yeah,
That's
right.
But Steph ain't make the playoffs either, and he was playing at MVP level. And then
I'm not
And he
saying
lost
like
two playing games, mind you. Two.
Yeah,
Two.
One, he
You
definitely
lost
had,
to LeBron and them. Shouldn't have lost to the Jazz. I mean the Grizzlies, personally.
I agree.
That's how
I
I
agree
feel.
that one. I think in the regular season he played at a higher level. He was more available, and I don't even with losing, which I can't knock him for because like you are a tier 1 guy. You gotta the Grizzlies. We found out that they were good, but you could have still went out there and get that done. He still was great in both of the games he played, and I think just in the regular season he was great.
Mel, he's spinning. I don't know why he's spinning, but
and I'll say this with the play-in thing, 21 is the 20. I don't even count the 20 play-in because I guess Dame played the Blazers into it, but outside of that, I don't think it really affected nobody else. But I think 21 is the only year where I'll be I don't care about the Warriors not making it. I don't knock Steph as much for that just because it was the first year and I personally didn't like it. And they was the legit 8th seed. If they would have been 9th or 10th and won one and then lost one, they would have been but they was a legit 8th seed. Plus, he was the level he played at, to me was just it was undeniable. Even
don't get me wrong, LeBron missing the play-in, I don't give him no passes for that. Missing the play-in is
it's not a fact.
But if you gonna say LeBron wasn't top 10, I'm sorry, you got to.
I'm not just saying because he missed the play-in. It's you missed the play-in. You also missed 30 games. Defensively,
so being hurt
terrible.
knocks you out. So
it's a lot.
being hurt knocks you out.
Availability matters.
All right, where's AD in the league to you right now?
Overall or just last season? I'm not.
No.
I'm never saying LeBron's not top 10 in the league. I'm just saying last season he wasn't one of the, especially when you consider the playoffs, and I factor that in. he wasn't one of the 10 best players. AD is somewhere between like 16 and 20.
Last season or overall?
Oh, last season he's nowhere relevant. He's
Wait.
nowhere.
So overall, you have AD 16 to 20 when healthy.
Yeah. No, I don't. That when healthy shit. I don't like. You on the court. This is what you on the court. This is what you presenting to me.
Wait,
That's
so
what
like
it is.
overall,
So health means nothing to you. Then.
so overall, AD
It means something, and I can take it into consideration. But it's like I could take it into slight consideration when it's like one season. Whereas one season, if we said like after 20, right after the bubble, I would have had AD was like top 10, and then 21, he did get hurt and get a little banged up in the finals. So 21, he don't quite look like himself, and he get hurt again. I can give a little more cushion for that. But now it's like a whole nother season, and you still don't look like nothing like your normal self.
Perfect. So my
at all. So now it's like, okay, like it's still like if I was saying after 21, it's still a little bit of a knock because like I said, you on the court. This is what you present to me. I can't.
Hey, you right. If that's how you feel, that's cool. My last follow-up question: where is Kawhi?
Like overall,
this is the second time. This is the second time Kawhi has had an injury that has kept him out a year. Where's Kawhi in the league right now?
That other one was like that might as well be light years ago. Like shit that happened in 2018.
But he's always taken off. He takes off multiple games every season.
He do. He low.
It helped him win a championship in Toronto.
When you do that and you be like the best player in the playoffs, it's like good credit. Like I paid off my credit card for so many years straight that when I go a few months, like don't call my phone.
But where is he though? Where's Kawhi?
I would say exactly. I would have him 7.
I'm sorry, you can't find me 15 players better than Anthony Davis. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. You can find 7. I can give you 7, 8 max.
Over the last 2 seasons, you don't think it's been 15 players with more value than Anthony Davis from 21 and 22?
Value, no. If you want to say people have had better seasons, I can give you that. But as
so
far
that's what
as
I'm saying.
but I asked you right now, currently, and you said 16 to 20. So I'm taking in everybody playing when healthy. You can't find me 15 people better than Anthony Davis. You can find 8 max, but
that's the separation because you saying when healthy. I'm not saying when healthy.
No,
I'm saying what you presented.
I was just
to
saying
me.
it like not. I'm not basing it off of last season.
If you had a 15
I basically say
roster,
I'm
Davis
counting
wouldn't
in
make
Dame.
it on there.
I'm counting in Dame. I'm counting in Paul George. That's what I mean when I say when healthy. I'm counting everybody that didn't really get to show or play last season. You know what I mean? So that's when I say that. Like I'm taking in. So currently, as of today stands, I don't think you can find 15 players better. Personally.
I don't think you can either.
And I have 15 right here that I can like. I don't think Devin Booker's better than Anthony Davis.
You don't think Devin Booker's been better over the last 2 seasons?
I think he had a better season by default.
But I don't think a better season makes you a better player.
That too.
You listening to this?
And I have this conversation a lot too. But it's like, to me, it all would lead back to you just feeling like once you hit your peak, then that's what it is. Or not once you hit it, but like you're more judging off peak. So like over the last 2 seasons, it's definitely been 15 players who have just played better than Anthony Davis, just straight up. Now maybe when they all
had people that have had better seasons, I can.
And that's what I mean. So like to me, that's the value. Like when I'm talking about best players and stuff, it's a lot of different ways to look at it. And if you want to say, okay, in a vacuum, based on what he can do when he's fully healthy, then I agree. It's not 15 players better than Anthony Davis. But based on what he's presented to us over the last 2 seasons, I know what you're capable of, and we can talk about peaks. And peak AD, he's clearly a top 10 player. But there's no way I can say that based off what I've seen over the last 2 seasons, because to me that's flawed logic. Because what if it's this year again?
Marcus is just taking more things into consideration than you guys. Like his formulas just has more variables in it.
Just like what if it's this year? What if it's this year? Theoretically, what if it's this year again? And what if he plays most of the season? What if he plays 65 games and he's still 22-10?
Yeah, like if you're allowed to say, G baby, if you're allowed to say when healthy, like why can't he say, he's gonna play less than half the season next year, less than half the season the year after that, less than half the season the year after that, less than half the season the year after that, and then he retires. And then for the next, so every single year from now till he retires, he's playing less than half the season. Then he's gonna end up being right. Whereas if you say win healthy, and then if he does end up being healthy next season, the next season, and he's healthy, then you're gonna end up being right.
Yeah, but we're not basing it off of where we think he will be. This is a question on right now, currently, based on what he's saying, based off the last 2 years. So even so with all that, I get you. As a likelihood as he's win healthy as win not healthy. I don't disagree, but the point is, right now, as currently standing, based on what Cousin Marcus said, and what he's seen off the past 2 years, he feels like there's been 15 players that have had better years than Anthony Davis, which I don't disagree with. I don't disagree with, especially when you don't play as much as like when you're AD and you've missed so many games. I don't disagree that people have had better seasons, but as Trent said earlier, you can have a better season, and I still don't think you are a better player. So that's all. So that's all I was getting at. I mean, if that's how he feels and that's how he's basing it off of, his statement isn't crazy.
So you would just be going off peak then, right?
So when I look at it, I look at like, okay, like AD is a little different because he's been injury prone for a minute. So I understand because that's why
we don't even got to talk about availability. We can just say when he's been on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one that's like I've brought up multiple times when he was playing this past year, they were still barely above 500. So like I've said that as well, but I just when I look at like the other players, like I can't like the ones I can see you arguing like when I get to like that 10 to 15 range, I can see if you want to put Tatum over him. I can see if you want to put Jimmy. I can see if you want to put Dame. Even though I disagree, I can see it. Especially with Jimmy and Tatum, because we know what they do in the playoffs. We know what Jimmy does in the playoffs, and we know what Tatum has done this past year. So like I get those. But then when we start getting into like Trae Young, Devin Booker, when we start getting to those names, I just can't. I personally can't see it. But with your logic, if you're basing off of, I ain't seen AD really be that guy in the past 2 years, and I think other people have improved and stepped up and been better, that's not crazy to say. Like, I don't think what you're saying is crazy. I just personally can't say 15 names. I can give you 8, max 9. Better than AD. Like, I'll put him at 10, but that's max to me.
But when is it going to be to a point where we see a player is not being healthy enough to really consider him in these conversations no more? Like, how long are we going to keep giving AD that excuse? Like, oh, well, if he healthy, full strength, like, how long are we going to do that?
That's why I said, what if it happens again this year?
Exactly, and with that being said,
he gets to be better than everybody.
No. If that happens this next season,
for Grant Hill, Yao Ming.
You absolutely right. So if it happens again next year, I'm with y'all. I'm off that. But like it's like and then 2021 after they won the championship, I don't know how many games he played, but I think he got hurt maybe like in February or March or something. Came back, was good, and then got hurt in the playoffs.
He played like
and then 2022 he was
like 35 and 21. He was averaging like 22 and 9.
Okay, so did he play when they first came back? Because I know it was after the bubble. They like started playing in December.
He was
or something.
Playing.
Like
he got hurt
off the rip.
He got hurt. He was playing. He got hurt, and then around was that February or something, and then Brian got hurt like 8 games later.
Okay, yeah. So I get y'all.
So they were
gonna say
because it's first half of the season.
Yeah. So if you're gonna say like, hey, like it's keep happening, I can get with y'all on that too because I actually agree with y'all. Like I'm off AD if it happens again. Like I was off of him this year, but it was like, and I was only off of him because while he was there, they were still barely above 500. So I kind of looked at it as like, well, I mean, it really doesn't matter if he was there or not. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like defensively AD still didn't help that team, especially on a team with no defenders and LeBron playing as trash defense as he was. So I understood like at least his impact defensively was definitely missed, but they were still barely above 500. But yeah, if it happens this year, this will be the third year in a row.
Team.
Huh?
They would have been a bad defensive team with them there or not.
Oh yeah, I agree. But I mean, you get what you take what you can get. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but
That's why I'm like,
when you on a real bad defensive team, sometimes that can make you look like you're not even as good as a defensive player that you are. Like when you're on
yeah,
a real bad defensive team.
I agree. I agree. But yeah, if AD keeps getting hurt, if he gets hurt like next year, like off the rip, and it's like a long term injury, I'm off that. If he like just pulls a little thigh muscle and he's out for like 3 games, I'm not gonna hold that against him. But
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold it against. We just need to be AD for me to see what y'all saying. That's all I need to really see him be that way again.
Off the AD talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What are you guys' thoughts on what Bill Simons said?
Bill
Simmons. I knew it was Simmons, and I said no, it's not. It's Simons, and I just went with Simons. Bill Simmons. Don't talk yourself out of it no more. Bill Simmons said that he thinks Westbrook is out of the league after the Lakers, I believe. They were talking about where does he go after the Lakers? Does he fit on any team? And Bill Simmons said, I think he's out of the league. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I keep hearing that shit.
I'm not gonna hold y'all. I think people just hate. I think people just love to hate on Russell Westbrook.
Maybe.
I like it's OD now. Like out of the league, bro. All he gotta do, like he can at least go be on somebody's bench at the worst.
It's not about the.
It's not about the. Yeah.
It's the reality. I just think that Westbrook is like AI for real. Like when AI got to the end of his career, he could have helped teams. It's just the problem that people didn't believe that he could. It's like, and Westbrook is even worse because I think Westbrook got way more to offer than AI did. But that's the problem. Like if you're a real bad team, you don't want him because he's gonna make you better, and you're not trying to be better. And then history has shown that he's not ideal for most teams that's trying to be contenders. He's just not ideal. As great as he is, he's not ideal.
I don't know, man. I obviously
tell me what team right now he can go to and make them better, or like right now, like a playoff contending team that he's going to put over the top.
Like put over the top to win a championship? No, that's not what Russell Westbrook is.
No.
That's not what Russell Westbrook is. But to say he can't, like he's not, like Russell Westbrook is not at this stage in his career. He is not like for example, like let's say the Celtics would have got Russ instead of Malcolm Brogdon, right? Because the team is so like good, they were just in the finals. I feel like if they got Russ, it would be like, oh yeah. Hey, the Celtics. Hey, they probably.
Whoa! What you say? Hold on, I didn't catch that.
I said if y'all got,
I'm on a delay like YouTube. What do you say?
If I believe if the Celtics got Russ,
hell no,
Malcolm Brogdon.
Don't put that on us. If the Nuggets got Russ instead of Jamal Murray, he will take the Nuggets over the top.
I'm not talking about starters. I'm talking about a backup piece that y'all traded a bag of chips for.
Yeah, you traded.
Y'all traded Malcolm Brogdon for a bag of chips. So I'm saying, same scenario.
Don't put that on.
But it's Russ instead of Malcolm Brogdon. I still think y'all are fine.
No,
and he's a better. What y'all needed was a playmaker.
No.
He's a better playmaker than Malcolm Brogdon. You might not want him. That's fine.
You
might not want him. That's fine. No,
and
that's where I was gonna get to. If y'all are gonna say he's gonna be out of the league because he doesn't want to accept that he's not that guy anymore, and that he Russell Westbrook needs to have a reality check and be like, hey, I'm not that guy anymore. Let me reduce my role so I can have more impact. Russell Westbrook's not that kind of guy, at least so far that we've seen. So unless he comes out and does that, if that's the reason y'all are gonna say he can be out of the league, all right, cool. I'm not going to disagree with that because as you mentioned, like AI, that was AI's problem. AI didn't want to come off the bench. He had that whole little interview. Why other people got to start, but I got to come off the bench. Like, same thing. Melo, when he was first transitioning, he didn't want to come off the bench. When he went to the Thunder,
it's gonna be even worse for Russ though, because he gonna really be busting people's asses at practice, and he gonna want to start. Like it's gonna be worse. He gonna be really out there busting ass.
And it's just my only point is if that's the reason you're gonna go with that, then fine. But other than that reason, You can't make me believe
I'm not.
Russ is gonna
I
be out
told
there.
you, I'm not telling you it's a talent thing. It's more of a. It's like almost like how T.O. was viewed. Like, yeah, T.O. could have helped you, but is he gonna fuck up your locker room? He's gonna fuck up your chemistry. That's what Russell Westbrook will do. When you drop him into your system, he is going to make changes, whether you like it or not. That's just who he is. Even coming off the bench, he gonna still be Westbrook. Like at the end of the day,
I think
he
the
get it
sooner he
going. He gonna
embrace
want to
that,
stay in the game. He like,
But
I
like,
think the sooner he embrace that, it'll be glorious.
yeah, that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like I know he probably won't, but I feel like if Russ just changes that mentality, he can go to a lot of teams and help them. Like he can go to if
I
he
think
just
he could go
accepts
to
that role, he
Dallas
can go
and
to.
help Dallas, but I don't think it's gonna
That's
matter.
one of the teams. That was one of the
Right.
teams,
I
but
think
like I
that's
feel
about
like he
his
can go.
That'd
only
be a good
chance.
fit for him system wise too.
He can go to the Clippers and do the exact same thing John Wall's gonna do. If he
Yeah,
changes
but
his
no.
mentality, he can
What,
do the
not
exact same
start?
thing John Wall's gonna do.
I think
Yeah,
John Wall shoots
a
better.
6-man off the bench. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you're gonna accept that role, though.
That's
John
my
Wall can't
point.
shoot.
If he accepts that role,
Wait, did they
there's
say
like
he was coming
multiple
off the bench
teams he
yet?
can go to. Who?
Did they say John Wall was coming up the bench yet?
I think
No, they ain't
that's
said nothing.
they
No,
haven't
they ain't said
announced
it yet.
it, but
I don't think no.
John Wall's
Let's
not
see.
starting. I'm not gonna hold you. If
Let's
John Wall
say,
starts,
hey, Def lineup.
Ty Lue,
Warriors
He's
Ty
like
Lue was
$50
smart
million
enough.
a year ass.
Ty
ain't gonna
Lue
start.
was smart enough
Why
not to.
Def
why
lineup.
should I mean
The
it
Warriors had a
doesn't
Def
matter. Like
lineup.
you actually want John Wall to start because I don't think he's the
Hey.
ideal 6-man like Reggie is. Reggie is an ideal 6-man.
Right.
Like he can
That's
come in and
that's
do that and run the
situation
second
he's
unit.
most comfortable in.
I don't know if
can
John
do that
Wall
too, to be
is
honest.
mentally ready for that. Like I think he wants to start. I think it's good for his
I don't
morale, and I think that'll help the Clippers if he is starting. Like I don't want John Wall to come in and they're benching him because he's not who they thought he was. That's going to be bad.
But I think if you go
Spinning
in
tread
off the
over
rip and
Henry
say,
Dell.
"Hey, you're gonna be our 6-man. We're gonna let you do you with the second unit," because he's not gonna be able to do what he does with the first unit.
Yes,
He's
he will
just
be.
he's just
Right.
gonna sit there and be running plays for Paul George and Kawhi, and I'm not gonna hold you. Reggie Jackson can do that. John Wall, like I get he's not the same, but John Wall's not gonna sit there and just let me run this offensive set for Kawhi and Pete. Like that's not what he's gonna
Well,
do.
he need to go sit down somewhere then, for real, because that's what he's there to
But
do.
that's what I'm saying. You put him off the 6-man, let him run with the second unit. He'll be able to do what he wants to do. All he need to do is
What
drop
do he
15
do? What do he do?
All he got to do is drop 15 to 6. Like and he can do that off the bench.
If you're watching on YouTube,
I would prefer that
He
to
ain't
be in
gotta
the starting
start.
role.
he only sub
Nah, he don't got to start, but he can finish a couple
around the
games.
NBA in the building.
But yeah, like John Wall,
I
like
want him to
come
start
on.
because he at his best he will be, if he's John Wall, he will be the best playmaker on the team at his best. I want him to start because that takes off pressure from Kawhi and Paul George to have to create for others. They can just strictly worry about scoring for themselves and making the right pass when necessary, but not necessarily have to run the offense.
But Reggie Jackson
I
can do
always
that,
want
and
my
he's
best.
younger and better
No,
than
Reggie
John Wall
Jackson
right now.
is a score first player at heart.
I think that's what
That's
John
who he
Wall
is.
is too.
I
John
don't
Wall
think
just
John
happens
Wall
to
is
be a
John Wall's
really
a
good
playmaker.
playmaker.
GK
No,
reminded
John
me of that.
John Wall is a
is
really good playmaker. But
Yeah,
at his heart, he was a
scored
score
first.
first guard.
He scored.
I
He's
don't- I
just
don't
really
think
good
he-
at playmaking.
Yeah,
But
became
he's
a
a
leader.
score
Right.
first guard.
But don't you think because he's so good at playmaking, he can transition his game into being a playmaker and a lead, and like in that middle part of towards the end of his career?
Yeah, just off the bench.
No,
Just
I-
off the
thinking-
bench.
I think that
Because
coming
he's
out
gonna
with
want to
Jeff
score.
Arnold.
He's gonna
That's
want to
what
get a
John Wall
couple
thinks
of
when
his
he gets the
buckets.
ball.
Not playing with PG and Kawhi Leonard. He's a
Reggie
third
Jackson, I
option,
don't want
maybe
him
a
running my
four.
offense. I still don't want him running my offense. So
He's
I
a
would
maybe
rather
John
for
Wall
Reggie
does.
to come off the bench
So
and be
I'm
instant
going to
offense.
drive.
I mean,
into the-
But even when Kawhi and PG healthy, like Reggie is the point guard in name, but
100% because they didn't have John Wall.
no, I'm saying he's the point guard in name, but if you watch games, like it's really Kawhi and Paul George running.
I mean, before that, they
No,
had
100%.
Patrick
That's
Beverly
what I'm
too.
saying.
So like,
But if you
Right.
mix
Patrick
John,
Beverly ain't no
Wall
playmaker,
into that,
so-
that then gives you
If
another
this is
option.
2017, we got something. But in 2022, like you done played like 40 games in the last 4 years. Like
But that's not.
we trying to win a championship. We can't.
Wait,
like,
hold
you
on. That's not fair. Context. Why didn't he play last year?
they didn't let him last
because of his
year.
contract. I didn't say he was injured the last 4 years.
Because they didn't let him.
Or they didn't want to play. No, I know he can play.
He went to the multiple times and asked them to let him play. He'll come off the bench. He'll do whatever they need him to do, and they kept telling him no. That's not on him. So you're saying 40 games in the last year, and then what did he do in those 40 games?
I said in the last 4 years.
Well, last 4 years. What did he do?
No matter what the reason is, that's part of 5 years. No matter what the reason is, if I'm a championship,
wasn't he injured too? He wasn't out.
Yeah.
He was injured for in the past 4 years. He was
out
injured,
for 5,
and then he got to Houston, and they wouldn't let him play.
John Wall was out for 5 seasons. He
hasn't played a full season since 2016.
That's what he's saying.
I'm not saying.
No, I hear the logic, and again, I don't know who John Wall is right now. Games? I don't know.
5 games, 10 games, 20 games, 30 games.
I just think if he's still somewhat of John Wall, I think his job just became the easiest it's ever been in his whole NBA career. I think he should be able to transition onto this team pretty seamlessly, like in my opinion, if he still got anything in the tank.
Yeah.
I don't see how he's going to struggle with.
He's not in a system where he needs to score. Like what we have seen from John Wall on Houston, he was in a position in the time that he's been there 40 games, he needed to score. When he was on the Wizards, he needed to be a scorer there. Now he's going to a team with 2 other high-level scorers that's better than him. You don't think in his mind he would be like, all right, I don't have much time left. This might be my best chance to win a championship. Let me just sacrifice what I need to sacrifice and get it done here because I might not ever get this chance to win a championship.
You're thinking too logical.
No, that's how I think. If people know,
no, I understand. No, I'm not
thinking, but hold on, I'm not done. He probably in the back of his head thinking, and Trent would like this. Kyle Lowry got a ring. Kyle Lowry got a ring. I gotta get one. I gotta get one.
Kyle Lowry, it's different because Kyle Lowry didn't have to sacrifice nothing. Kyle Lowry was doing the same thing he was doing. He just didn't have the.
I think you're thinking too logical about it because everything.
Kyle Lowry because what he was doing, but go ahead.
I think you're thinking too logical about it because everything you're saying makes perfect sense. But a lot of players don't think like that. They don't think logically.
I'm not
they
saying.
don't.
They
don't.
Carmelo.
Yeah, they don't think about like their professional clock ticking. They don't think about what sacrifices.
I just think John Wall with Kawhi in his ear and PG in his ear, and knowing with them Reggie Jackson talking to him, and all those guys knowing the culture there and what Ty Lue built, that he's going to buy into the system because that's all you ask him to do is just buy into the system and be in a role that Ty Lue.
Are you sure?
I mean, I'm not holding out hope for PG. I'm not holding out hope for PG in his ear.
In the system, G. But then you want him to be himself with 2 people that's better than him. You got to factor that in. Like he's not the first option. How many shots is he really?
I'm literally saying the same thing you're saying. Just do it as a 6-man, not as a starter. I'm literally saying the same thing. I just think they give him another option in the mix of Kawhi and PG being on the floor when he could touch the ball and facilitate a play or run a play and do this thing. Just take some of the pressure off them because he is a scoring threat. He can score the ball, but I'm not saying he's necessarily going to get the touches or the shots to be able to.
He's going to get a lot of direct lanes, like direct straight lanes to the basket.
But then that's good for them.
That's all I'm saying. Like he's still John Wall and he's still just remotely just anything close to what he used to be. I don't see how this don't work. That's all I'm saying.
It'll work. I just think it's better off the bench. But Troy, to answer your question, he played 41 games in 2018 or 17-18.
And I know the efficiency was
32 and 18-19. Didn't play all of 19-20 with it. Left heel, Achilles, and infection. 2020-2021, he played 40. And then last year, he sat out. Or they didn't play.
How many games was that total?
40, so that's 81, 32, so 113.
I'm pretty sure he has one of the biggest contracts in the NBA.
Not 40 games in the last 4 years.
Bench that guy.
Okay. Thank you, G baby.
Wait, hold on. What you say about how many?
I mean, it's less than 50%, but
listen. Somebody said something, cousin Marcus, and it was incorrect. Okay.
What was incorrect about it?
You said he played.
Well, matter of fact, I know I'm wrong, but how wrong was it?
All right.
Yeah, how wrong was that?
You won by about 60, almost 70 games.
So since 17-18, he's played less than 50% of his games.
That's fine. That's fine.
So over the last 4 seasons, he played 70 games. All right, I was off by
over
30.
the 4 last
113
113 games. Look, what's up, bro? What's up?
I'm staring at it. In 19, he played 32 games.
Oh, you started from 19. I started
40.
from 18. My bad.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm saying the last 4 seasons. The last 4 complete 4 seasons.
So, with that
so he played
20, 21, 20, 21, 22.
Yeah, so he played 70 games in it.
So 18,
Like the
18, 19.
The Clippers is in win now mode.
And John Wall helps him do that.
I don't see it.
off the bench.
I don't see it when I got
he don't have to start, but he can finish games. If it's a tight game,
true.
you can have John Wall in the lineup. But I don't think you got to start.
Then you inbound the ball. You got John Wall coming from the corner to the middle, passing the ball. Now he sets the play. Kawhi here, PG there, and give it to whoever come over, bro.
That's crazy. I'm so scared John Wall's gonna turn into a spot up shooter.
Listen, no, that's what he would have been on the Lakers. He would have been that on the Lakers.
He can't shoot. So that ain't
I'm with Boo. I think he's gonna be more of getting his buckets in his
I think he's gonna be driving to the paint. There's gonna be a lot of lanes for him.
To that 10 to 15,
I don't know about his agility and his handle.
June.
I think he should be fine. That's what I'm saying. The key word being should.
Yeah,
I don't know if he will, because I like to what they saying. I get we haven't seen him in a while.
He's better than Reggie Jackson.
I just think if he's still like even what I seen from Houston though, like that John Wall on the Clippers is good enough for me.
Yeah, it's good enough. Yeah, right.
Good enough for me.
Yeah,
we're not saying
I agree with you.
Much. We're not saying the Clippers need much. I don't think they need much to get over the hump. They just need Kawhi to be healthy, PG to be healthy, and then another adequate third person who could give them some facilitating the ball and getting to that rack and getting some points. I don't think John Wall needs to average 20 points. I can see him in that 12, 15-point range because Reggie Jackson is there to pick up some of that load. And they got other guys that can score the ball. So I don't think they need to look for John Wall for scoring. But then I can also see what GK said, that you do want him to be himself. And that's why I said I could see him getting a lot of layups and a lot of shots from that 10, 15 feet range.
Yeah, he can be himself. Like
they're going to sleep on him in the beginning of the season.
In that 15-point range. In that 15-point range, I said he can get 15 and 6. The only difference is I think he should do it off the bench and he can finish a couple games in crunch time.
Only way I can see what you're saying, G Baby, is because Reggie Jackson has camaraderie there. He knows the system. He's been there. He's played there. He's played with those guys. He's fought with those guys in the playoffs that just ended. So I can see where you're coming from, but I just think John Wall, you put him in that starting lineup. You might could fit Reggie in the starting lineup too.
I just think you have to from a business perspective.
Nah, they're running PG.
You don't get John Wall to not start him.
They don't want to run Kawhi.
Well, it's 2022. So you got him for dirt cheap. That's his value. You didn't trade for him and give up a bunch.
All right, they paid his contract like $50
but that's because Houston didn't want him.
Houston paid him out, and then
I'm not starting him if he's hurting us now. Like if he's hurting us,
so he's got a new contract now.
Yeah, he's got like a
contract.
What's his contract right now?
Like a cheap ass.
It's like a
dirt cheap.
It's like a veterans inception.
Yeah, he like 12. No, he a little bit more than that.
It's like $2 million or something. It might be like $2 million. It's not the minimum, but it's like $2 million for a 1 year.
It is really low. It is really low.
He didn't got paid though already.
Yeah, Houston bought him out.
This ain't about that.
Yeah, because it was $47 million a year in Houston, and it's now down to like $6.6 million a year.
Hey, I'm fine with that because I got that 2 years prior when I was out, when I played those bad games, and that was good.
Yeah, I think he just need to focus.
I didn't have to file no grievances with my team because they ain't take my money.
And G-Baby might not be wrong because, I mean, they're paying Reggie Jackson more than him, like almost double. So.
I mean, at this point in the career, they should be, but
that don't have no real weight on who should start.
I'm not looking at John Wall as his contract. I'm looking at what he can do starting on that team and helping Kawhi Leonard and
don't get me wrong. I think I would
easier shots, get easier shots, get in the flow of the game quicker. But I could also see Reggie doing that. I'm not taking anything against Reggie. Reggie is great in that system. Maybe he is the guy. Maybe John does.
He's a better shooter than John Wall.
Because I just think at John's old age,
I don't
want John Wall going up against the start. Like when you look at, I want most of his minutes. Me personally, to come against like the second point. Like I don't want John Wall.
It will though. You got to realize. I just want him to start. Like I think that's good for his morale.
Like just out of respect. Like
yeah. Like I think he will be playing. I think Reggie Jackson will be closing games. I don't think John Wall will be
Yeah, I
closing
would
games.
definitely have Reggie closing.
I think he needs to start for his morale, though. He's been out for a couple of years. He needs to feel good about playing the game and feeling like he's a part of something.
22? What was it, 20?
Yeah.
It was 2022. Who was it, 6?
What about Reggie Jackson's morale? He just helped this team still make the playoffs when Paul
I
George
think he's cool with it, though, because Paul George and him is like best friends. I think if Paul George, like Reggie, this was best for the team. Like, I think overall that he knows.
I don't think Reggie Jackson will think twice about it.
Yeah, right.
I think he knows he's a 6 man though. Like he's cool.
He's like, yo, put me on the bench. I'm gonna get because I heat up quick and I know what I need to do for you guys. Like I've been here and I know what I need to do.
And you'll reassure him that he will be closing games. So I think that's what matters too for a lot of players.
You definitely want John Wall out because of his defense at the end of the games, and Reggie can play defense.
Well, John could too. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't think
Tyloo said basically it's gonna come down to training camp.
Right.
Whoever puts the work in.
I mean, either way, the Clippers are like 9, 10 deep.
Yeah.
They'll be perfectly fine regardless.
The crazy part is I don't think John Wall could hurt them, but I damn sure think he could help them.
Yeah.
I don't I really don't think he can hurt them.
Because if anything, if he's not performing, you still got depth.
Yeah, they
still got depth.
They'll probably get rid of him too.
Buy him out for less.
Trade him.
Or trade him. I was like, he's cheap, so he's a lot more. He's a lot more appealable in the trade market.
To the Lakers, going to the Lakers.
Hey, take their picks. Why not? They're not finna do nothing.
Keep them in the building, but not in the same.
They're not winning another championship.
The Lakers clearly finna trade Westbrook, right? Because they definitely just signed Pat Bev. I know that ain't gonna happen.
That's a big. You think that's a big pickup? I mean, defensive wise, the intensity he gonna get in people, up on.
It depends on what they get back for Westbrook. Because if they lose Westbrook, I mean, they don't get anything of value back, like scoring wise.
They're not.
And that's what I'm saying. Like offensively, if they don't get nothing back, so it's just LeBron and AD, and then you got Pat Bev. Like it means nothing. They're gonna be in the same spot, honestly.
No, you can get some solid role players.
That's just a lateral move.
Yeah, I just don't know if people gonna give up anything real good for Westbrook. Like that's the only thing. Like
I heard Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, but I think that's been dead.
They said no.
I think that's coming back up again. I think it's coming back up
again.
If
Indiana did that,
the Pacers said no.
If they do that, that would be so dumb.
But
that'd be so
they
dumb.
Shouldn't because they just the reason why I don't believe it.
The offer was like first round picks and them, and they still said no.
That's the scary part about Westbrook. Like Westbrook on a team like that can get you into the play-in.
Oh, yeah.
Like he'll sneak your ass right into the play-in, and that's hurting teams like. Well, that's Indiana. They're the most mediocre team I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was about to say Indiana never wants to rebuild or compete. They
always want to stay right in the fucking middle.
Yeah.
Wow.
So maybe they do it. I don't know. Who knows?
But they just traded for Halliburton, so to me that makes no sense because you have a young point guard
with shooters
and.
If you get the picks, it makes sense because this is the last year of Westbrook contract, so you can just dump it. So it'd just be you would just get the picks, let Russ do whatever for a year, and then don't fuck with him. Like it's just a salary dump. That's really the only way it makes sense for real.
Fair enough.
And they already had Miles Turner was on the block last year, just nothing happened. And they just got
the trade would have. I think.
No, he was on the block this year too.
I think the trade would have happened if.
The season it just
Miles Turner, but this season, this off season, he was up again.
If Miles
he was up last year and then he was up again, then they took him off and then they put him back up.
If the Suns didn't match the offer,
I think it depends.
I think Miles Turner and Buddy Hield would have been gone. Personally, I think they would have been gone, but for whatever reason, the Suns decided to match the offer. I think everybody and their mama knew they didn't want DeAndre Ayton there. So
no, it's not that.
I don't think they
didn't want DeAndre Ayton there.
He didn't want them.
Right. I think
they didn't want to pay him when he was cheaper. And they didn't want to extend him in the regular season. They had two chances to sign him when he was cheaper, and they didn't do it.
But they were just looking. The business is business. Sometimes you're right, and sometimes you're wrong. That's the joy of business. Sometimes you make a lot of money, and sometimes you lose a lot of money. That's the joy of business, bro. They made a business decision that they thought was best for them, and it didn't work out in their favor. It worked out in his. But then ultimately, being businessmen, right, knowing tactics. What did they do? They flipped it back in their favor and still got him for cheaper. Still got him for cheaper than what he was going to make this year. So you keep saying they could have offered him cheaper. They still, in the end, got him for cheaper. About 60 to 90 million cheaper. They got him.
Did they?
Yeah. The
That
Supermax.
much? I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, a year when you calculate in a year. Yeah. Like, so they still got him for cheaper. So I'm good. He's going ball. I don't think we talked about this. I don't think Ayton's not gonna go out there and beat Ayton. Chris Paul is there, D Book is there, the guys that he fought hard with the last 2 seasons to go to the finals, to get the top seed. He's gonna be right back there with those guys. I don't expect nothing less from him. He's young. He needs to mature a little bit. Get his mental together while being in the NBA. Understand like what he needs to get done. And go get it done. You want to be a champion, or you want to just be another guy that had a lot of skill? With these young guys,
I think Phoenix should try to feature him more though in their offense.
Yeah, 100%. He can't play 14 minutes in a.
It's just the way the game is played today, though. Like players themselves don't like playing traditional basketball. You know what I mean? Like, Ayton is very solid down there in the post. Like he can actually do some things and get things done.
Needed a 3.
He ain't Joel Embiid or nothing like that. That's why he didn't get paid. You know what I'm saying? But he's still nice.
Right. He might.
It's just I look at it like, what else were they gonna replace him with? Like who like, oh boy, somebody else just got paid because it was like, well, who else was there? Like sometimes, like genuinely, who?
Rudy Gobert just got paid.
I mean, yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah,
that's a little different. He got paid before, but like genuinely, like with DeAndre Ayton, the Suns, the way I looked at it, even before when he was cheaper, but they like, who was on the market that they were looking at? Where it's like, if we get this guy instead,
I don't think they were looking better. I just think they were waiting out. We see that sometimes in the NBA where teams just wait to the last minute to see if somebody make it. How many times does somebody match somebody's offer sheet? Not even with the caliber of player that Ayton is. It happens every offseason that a guy will try to leave a team will offer him a sheet, the team will match it, and he's right back on that team. It's the same thing. That's all it is. It's the same thing. They wanted to wait till last.
I mean, because clearly
how it would play out, and now they know he wants to leave, but we don't have to let him leave. We can match that offer sheet because he's restricted, and they did. And now he's here for the offer of the contract, and there's nothing he can do because we ain't trading him. That's the game the Suns is playing with. So, do you think with those options on the table, is he going to go out there and just sit out, not ball?
I mean, so okay,
take a back injury, do a Ben Simmons.
If that's the case and that's true, and they're like, nah, we're not gonna trade you or nothing, then why was it a hassle to sign me if you didn't want to get rid of me? That's how I feel. If you didn't want to get rid of me, why was it such a hassle to sign me? Even if you want to say this past year, okay, but before he was cheaper, I guess, like right now. But when he first wanted the contract extension, it wasn't.
Yeah, I know it was cheap. Yeah, I get it, but
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if your point is true, like they were like, oh well,
sometimes
we were waiting last minute.
Yes, but it happens all the time. It's not just with Ayton. Like you taking that with the same thing that happens with role players when it happens to them. When it happened with who just left a couple of years ago. I forget who it was. He tried to leave, and then they matched his offer sheet. Was it not Brogdon? I don't know if it was Brogdon. Or the
I don't know if but I don't consider Ayton a role. I don't know. I just I hear what you're.
I said with role players. I'm not saying.
No, I hear you. We
hear these things. These things happen every offseason. To me, there's no difference from it happening to a role player, to an average player, to a star. Like it doesn't. To me, it happens. It's a part of the business. It's why it's in place. So you don't have to have your stars and your superstars just walk away from you. You get a chance when they're restricted. When you have the bird rights to them. To match anything that's given out there. They like the offer that was matched and they matched it. You can't blame them for that because they understand they have a championship contending team. If they give up Ayton, they're not championship contenders anymore. So why would you do that?
You're right. But in the same breath, if that, and this is the last thing I'll say about it because they're not doing nothing no way. If they view DeAndre Ayton as an important piece to their championship contending team, it wouldn't have been such a big deal to re-sign him. That's how I feel.
No, that's why I said I get you on that point, but sometimes in business it's just not that clear cut. It's just not that clear cut, G. You're looking at it clean cut. He took the dagger right off, clean. But it's not. Sometimes the dagger bends and breaks on the way of going through. And that's what happened with Ayton. They probably planned something out, seen something, and it was like, damn, it didn't work out. So let's just we gotta do what we gotta do to put us back in a position to compete. And that's what the Suns did to me in my eyes. But I want to get to what Agent Zero said about Giannis doesn't understand how to play ball and be great?
It's crazy because I love Gilbert Arenas' game, but he's just saying bullshit.
What the fuck is that?
Like, what did he say?
I'm refusing to comment because that was just stupid.
What? GK, I know you got something to add to this. Giannis don't understand how to play basketball and be great. 30 and 10. What's up, Mr. 30 and 10?
I mean, he's just one of ring, dropping 50 and going 17 for 18 in
game 6, 30 and 10.
Closeout after being down 2-0.
I didn't like he tried to use the minutes argument. Like, that shit blew me. Like, you talking about he needs to play. I get like he
Oh, he couldn't play no more in Boston. Boston wore him out.
Like, I get like the players like how like basically all the star players play.
I agree with Roddy.
37 plus, but like, bro, if you
I feel like what does it matter?
If you're playing 30 minutes
like
and you're still dropping like 28, 11, and like 8, you're still playing the best ball you can, you being the best basketball player in the world, then that shit really don't mean nothing.
Like, I was gonna say, like, I feel like
I've seen Steph Curry win like his first MVP. I don't even think he played that.
It was like 32.
I think it was below 32
because he wasn't playing a lot of fourth quarters.
I mean, even though he just heard MVP, but like
achieving success, what difference does it make if like it's because of advanced tactical decisions or because you're just bigger, faster, and stronger than everybody else? Like, who cares?
It's because these old heads like to, Kobe would have played 40 minutes and MJ would have never sat down for no 30
I just feel like shut up. Who cares if it's because you have the best handle in the league, the best
can't wait till you look young motherfuckers, the old heads in 2 years.
Right, hell yeah.
The thing is, Gilbert Arenas really not even like an old
and
head.
them young motherfuckers want to see him and say LeBron's the GOAT.
But he grew up like in that same because how old is he? Like 40, right, or something like that, or close to it. Like
Gilbert, Gilbert missed a lot.
Like, bro, I'm looking at Steph Curry. His 2 MVPs, his minutes per game was 32 and 34. The most minutes he's ever played was 38, and that was in 12.
I think Gilbert just saying that because when he played on the Wizards, he was by far the best player on the team, so his ass had to play 40 fucking minutes a game. He had
to. Also, too, the Milwaukee Bucks are just a top-notch team, so you don't have to do that.
Yeah, like literally, the year he averaged basically he basically averaged 30. He played 42 minutes a game. My nigga,
he want Giannis to be average 35, 15, and 8. That's what he wants.
Because MJ was averaging 35, 8, and 8 winning MVP and DPOY playing 42 minutes a game.
Why you bringing up
I'm sure if it was up to Giannis, Giannis would be in the game for 42 minutes.
Because that's what these people do, and it gets on my nerves, bro. Anytime I hear that type of argument, like, "Oh, you should be doing this," or "Oh, you don't have that killer mentality," like, shut up.
Maybe Trent said like what he said. He played 40 minutes, so he want him to have to play 40 minutes and feel what it feel like to play 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think like because that's the only thing that clips in my mind, like the minutes argument. Because like, bro, he played like 42 plus minutes.
Maybe he thought that if Giannis played the whole 40 minutes of the games in game 7, he would have beat us, or game 6, or whatever he felt. Gilbert Arenas, like that's probably what he felt inside.
I can't wait till Giannis beat the hell out of Boston next year, Troy. I just want you to know that.
Me either.
I can't wait.
I can't wait till the Nuggets are in the Western Conference Finals.
Me either. I can't wait till the Bucks get their revenge on us. And I'm here praising the Bucks in y'all face while y'all talking y'all shit, and I'll be talking my shit too.
Yeah.
Guess what?
You always throw that little. Maybe if Giannis would have played 40 with me, you always throwing that. Hey, don't worry about it. All right, boo. More gonna be added. All right? I gotta get Larry Birds. All right, I gotta get Larry Birds.
How many minutes was Larry Bird playing the game?
I don't know. I don't know if we
you don't even want to go. Look at what they was playing. They was playing. They played the whole games. That was just the. Yes. If they knew better, they would have did better too. Trust me. Like them people who didn't know. Like
Larry Bird played.
Larry could have
played 39, 38, 39, 40. Like. Man,
that's what the norm. That's the standard. Like
how many minutes did Mikal and Parrish play?
I'll look up.
All of them played the whole game without.
I know GK, you proving my point.
They all played 30, 39, 37, 36, 35,
What was
36.
the
That was the
highest? What was the
standard,
highest
man.
They
minutes?
would look
Nah,
at the coach and be like,
I hear you.
taking
I
me
get
out.
that. I
What was
get
the
that was
highest
the
minutes off the
norm.
bench?
My point is, we in a different era, so I don't want to hear these
I just
little
want all right,
these little
what's the
old
highest-
heads
what's
talking
the
about,
highest minutes off the
well, Bird and Magic, they play 40 minutes. Why can't Giannis? Why can't
Nobody
Steph?
said that on
Like,
this
bro,
show.
Well, he said, to be fair, he did say Braun though about the minute shit.
Right, keep it modern. Why it got to be MJ, Braun, Bird, this person? Now, what about Jokic? Jokic never played 40
Jokic
minutes.
played 32 and 33. He don't need to. He got efficient.
He said, Braun, you bringing up MJ, Kobe, Bird, Magic, Kareem, Bill, Wilt, MJ. Like, you don't know what you're saying. You're just bringing up everybody in the old school. Ain't no old head up here said anything. Cousin Marcus coming.
When was Gilbert Arenas' prime? When was Gilbert Arenas' prime?
I mean, his
2000.
best
06.
from like
06.
05.
That was like
I mean,
his best year.
yeah. So LeBron, he was playing in the same era as
His
Gilbert
peak-
Arenas. You don't hear LeBron going at people talk about you need to play 40 minutes.
His peak was from
Gilbert Arenas' career got ended, short, so he got some bitterness in him, G.
Yeah,
and that's my problem with these old heads.
His heart is
That's the
black.
problem.
It ain't gotta be old heads though.
Because they ain't got that killer mentality.
We saying
You know
old
what I
heads
mean?
on
They
the
ain't got
damn
that killer
show.
mentality.
Tell me where
That's
it
what
came
it
from.
is.
When did it come? This episode
doesn't?
84? I don't know.
I think Giannis does. Like, what are you
Yeah,
saying?
the fact that he
I
used
think a lot of
minutes
players got
as a
killer
sentiments
mentality.
as a reflection of his physical conditioning is crazy.
The Dame got killer mentality.
Does he though?
He does.
He does.
I think a lot of players got killer
Does he?
mentality.
He
though.
does.
I'm just mocking the old heads when they
He
use
does.
that bull.
He does.
He don't-
I
he
know.
just
G, I'm
ain't-
riling you up.
He
But
just don't got
yeah.
killer success. Like, but he a killer man. He got a killer mentality.
He definitely got a killer mentality. If you can pull up from that far, or somebody that's totally you like PG and ain't hit it, you got killer.
Reggie Miller had killer mentality.
Yes, he did. That's what put Reggie above, and that's why I told SB, shout out SB.
AI had killer mentality.
Yes.
Absolutely.
and he's still not better than James Harden.
Russell Westbrook got killer mentality. Just
Yes,
don't
he
mean
does.
he's gonna get it done. But I mean, he's a dog. He wants to tear your heart out.
I hear that too. Hey, because AI had that dog in him and stuff. And
He does.
I just hate
He
when
does.
I just hate
does.
when people use
You didn't
that.
see him step
like,
up
oh,
the
like
line.
AI had already had that dog in
That's
him.
an intangible
To
that matters, though.
discredit people of today. That's what I don't.
It ain't to discredit, but
It has
it's just
nothing
like
to
you
do
don't
with today or
respect
yesterday.
it. You don't respect it, but it should be respected if a player just has a killer mentality. Like, you know that this guy, you can
Because if you
depend
put those
on him,
players
like
in the right
in those
situation,
type of moments
they'll win you a
to
championship.
not fold. Because even if
Yeah.
you miss the shot, I don't think you folded. You know what I mean? I need
don't
to
think it
know
has
that you're
anything
going
to
to
do
take
with
that
age.
shot.
I get the
100%.
mentality part.
Because I go to the park right now, two kids both in high school that go to the same high school, brothers, twins. One is better than the other, but the other has the killer mentality, and the other always does better on the court. They're
Okay,
both
so does
16 years old. It has nothing to do
does
with
that
anything.
okay? So does your
Tell him,
mentality
G.
when we talk about players from back then and today? Are you gonna take like are you gonna say that let me just pull up example. Are you gonna say Clyde the Glide, no left hand Drexler is better than somebody like James Harden because he had more of a killer mentality? No,
He
right?
had more of a killer mentality.
He does, and then I was going to say that. Like,
He's not a killer mentality player.
Reggie Miller.
No.
Are you gonna say Reggie Miller is a better player than James Harden? That's all my point. I don't.
No,
like
I'm not going to say he's a better player.
But
But
why-
Use that to
why
say
would you-
somebody's better than somebody else.
20s and put them in one-on-one. Reggie's going to win.
That's
just
not my
because he wants
point.
to
That's
win
not
more
my.
than Harden
That's
does.
not my point.
Wait, whoa.
No, Trent. Hold up, Trent. Hey, you gonna get there in a minute, Trent. That's not my point. I'm not trying to argue who's better. I'm saying I don't like when old. I don't, and I say old heads because that's where it usually comes from. If an old head came to me and said Reggie Miller is a better player than James Harden because Reggie Miller had that killer mentality, I'm gonna look at him like he's stupid. Killer mentality does not determine whether or not you're better than somebody else.
Why are you bringing up Reggie? Why? Like, that's not even a good
That's just an
comparison.
example. I'm
Right,
just
but-
making. All I was
hear you,
doing was
but-
making fun of old heads when they used the killer mentality because we were talking about Gilbert Arenas saying, "Oh, well, guys in my day did this, so you should be doing it too." And you don't know how to be great because you weren't playing 40 minutes a game. Like, I hate that. I hate that.
You
That's all
got,
my
you got
point.
all type of people that value different things. Like, they value,
And
they take everything. You got some people that be like, well, I'm gonna take Tony Parker over AI because he a champion.
And
That's
they
how
can
people
feel
end
that
the
way, but I'm
conversation.
gonna
They
look
be
at them
done.
like they're stupid.
But
They
that's
can
how
feel that
people
way,
are.
but I'm gonna look at
People
them like
gonna
they're
be
dumb.
like, some people gonna be like, I'm taking AI over Tony because AI was more skilled.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's all about what you value, and I'm just saying, like, I definitely value a guy with a killer mentality. That just don't
Mel
put
said
you over
you
the top.
spin me right round.
Yo, GK, you really think like in a best Reggie Miller's beating James Harden 1-on-1 just because he wants it for more?
Shit, I'm about to join Trent.
We serious? Just because he wants it more? Are we dead ass serious?
I hate that argument too.
Like,
Going.
I think that's what G Baby means because that's
literally what I'm saying.
That's
literally what I'm saying.
No, it's not.
He can be somebody younger.
If you put LeBron,
Nobody said
and
dude,
MJ
that's not his
in their
point.
prime, MJ will win because he wants it more.
Yeah, bro. Hold on.
But James Harden and Reggie,
One is like the professional athlete, the younger brother, but the older brother is not a professional athlete, and the younger brother cannot beat the older brother. What? Why would that be? Why would that be?
Because he's not as good as him.
Exactly.
Hey, we're not about to say that Reggie Miller will beat James Harden because he wants it more.
We're not
definitely
doing
not
that.
saying that shit.
That's my point. GK, what you just tried to use is my whole point. I'm not saying a player is better than another player because he wants it more. He got that killer mentality.
I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying he's gonna win.
He's saying
if Reggie Miller and James Harden played a 1-on-1 10 times, James is winning 8.
Nope.
He's winning 11. He's winning 11.
Why would he win 8?
I got 7. I got Reggie with 7. I got Reggie with 7.
Because I think James Harden can guard Reggie Miller better than Reggie Miller can ever dream about guarding James Harden.
James Harden guard.
And I agree with that. He could guard him better, but could he like really guard him?
Guard.
I'm saying for the most part, yeah, be like in the 1v1 is make it take, right?
It really depends who get
ball. I believe Reggie Miller
get it first. If Reggie get it first,
he get it, but I guarantee you he's gonna miss one of his shots, and then that's all it's gonna take. He's gonna never stop James Harden ever again.
No, he's not. Ask Spike Lee.
Well, come on with that shit.
Ask Spike Lee. Ask Spike Lee.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like even though if you wanna, you can argue Reggie has a more killer mentality than James Harden. That's fine.
Every chance,
but skill wise on that island, he don't want no smoke with James.
If Reggie killer mentality, right? As soon as he touches that ball, he already knows. All right, this guy is skilled. What do I have to do? I have to put him away. It's the same thing Kobe's going to do if he hits that ground with anybody. I gotta put him away. That's
Kobe.
The killer mentality. No, I'm not saying. You're not listening. I said it's the same thing Kobe would say. What I'm saying is the killer mentality. All those guys say the same thing in their head. It doesn't matter if it's Kobe, Reggie, Ray Allen. It doesn't matter who it is. They say the same thing. I gotta kill this guy. I know what he can do, but I know what I can do, and I can do it.
You're undervaluing how important mentality
killer mentality is.
Nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Playing with zero self-confidence.
I would tell you this.
You're not gonna have any success.
I would tell you this, and I could call my best friend right now. He would tell you this. Everybody that I used to play ball with used to tell me I had a switch, right? Down 5, right? They got game point, and the switch would come on, right? The switch would come on because I knew I needed to kick up. I needed that killer mentality to come up to show him, put him away, and I would come back and put that game away, time and time again, till they started calling me kill switch.
So,
hold on. So when you think a professional guy, right, that has that killer mentality, a professional basketball player with that killer mentality, you don't think he's gonna go out there and kill? That's all I'm saying. Right? You don't think he's going to
Yeah, he will kill, but not kill James Harden.
Right. I got to kill him 7 times out of 10.
So GK, Troy, so who y'all think will win in the 1-on-1? Carmelo Anthony or Reggie Miller?
Carmelo.
Melo.
Why? I thought Reggie had the killer mentality.
What are we doing? Because I knew it would send you guys on a wild.
Y'all better stop playing with me right now.
I got Carmelo though.
Carmelo doesn't have killer mentality.
I got Carmelo and Reggie tied.
Carmelo's afraid to shoot the ball. Like what do you mean?
He ain't got no killer mentality.
What?
How not?
You better go ask Spike Lee.
You got a killer mentality
now. Go ask Spike Lee.
Melo?
Go ask
Hold on. Why don't if Dame got it? Why Melo don't got it?
Hey, I ain't say Dame. Hey, they want me.
Dame do
I'm
have
just saying, if Dame got it, like, what's the?
I
I
think
think they
Melo
both
got
do.
killer mentality. I'm just saying, like, if you can see Melo beating the hell out of Reggie, you should be able to see it for James Harden.
Nah.
It's no answer. Like
James don't
Carmelo
got
is a
that.
bad
James don't
defender,
got
so I'm
that.
not
He
saying
don't
he's
got
gonna
that.
stop Reggie
He
from
don't got
scoring.
that.
Perception.
He don't got it.
Do y'all think?
He don't
Do
got it.
y'all think Carmelo Anthony is a better offensive player than James Harden?
Please.
Offensively?
They play two different positions, G baby.
Yeah, no.
That has nothing to do with the
It
question.
don't
I said,
matter.
do you think he's a better
He ain't better
offensive player?
offensively.
No, I say no.
That
I say
means
no.
nothing.
I'm gonna stop.
Like,
I'm
I think
gonna
Shaq is a better
so who's
offensive player than
defending them?
Melo.
Who's
There's
defending
two
them
different
then?
positions.
Who's defending them then?
Reggie Miller. That's who we're on. That's who we're on. But it doesn't
1v1.
matter. Do you think Carmelo Anthony is a better offensive player than James Harden?
Reggie Miller.
They're 2 inches apart.
To guard Carmelo Anthony in the post, he'll
Y'all
have to
better go
guard
ask
James
Spike
Harden
Lee,
face up.
bro.
It's not the same.
Y'all
Carmelo doesn't face up now?
Oh my
What?
god.
Carmelo ain't never got a little. Ain't Carmelo's whole thing little pump
G, they
fake
not-
up,
G,
jab,
GK,
step? Like,
they not listening.
that's a face up. Like, what are we
Jab step
doing?
king.
GK,
Jab step, jab step, jab step.
Like he literally catches the
They
ball.
not
Like,
You're not listening, G.
no sense.
Hey, no, man, I can't. Look, like I said, I think Reggie could win a couple of games. I wouldn't say he
I
gets.
say Reggie win like 2-3.
7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like roughly,
Against
like
who,
I
Melo or James Harden?
I got
Against-
Reggie. I got Reggie 7.
I think against. I think he'll win a game against Carmelo. I ain't
I
gonna lie to you.
got 5. I got 5.
can't stop Carmelo at all.
It was just the fact that when I asked GK that question, he said like immediately Melo, which don't click. Because
But James Harden, it's like, nah, I think Reggie can get him.
Because on an island, on an offensive
No,
end, James
I
Harden is a
understand
killer.
that though. I understand that though.
Yeah, now you.
I don't think Reggie. I'm trolling, but nah, the Reggie. I don't think Reggie. The only question I would have, I think Reggie could definitely win more than you guys think he could win. I could definitely see him winning 6 out of 10. I'm gonna be real, not 7. I could see him winning 6 out of 10. Close games, but I could see Reggie killer mentality in those games, close down the edge. It's showing in him winning those games just for having that mental killer edge.
I wonder who will win over 1v1.
But with Carmelo and Reggie, I can definitely see. I think Reggie might have some trouble with Carmelo's offense. So
James Harden is literally one of the best 1v1 players of all time.
He's one of the greatest offensive players of all time.
Yeah, like he's one of the greatest ISO players to ever play the game.
Reggie, so ask Spike Lee.
Fuck Spike Lee.
Ask him. Ask him who what? Ask Spike
I don't
Lee
know that
about Reggie
motherfucker.
Miller. Ask him
You know
about
how
Reggie
much better
Miller.
James Harden
Only
would
question
be
I'm
if he
asking
had
him is
Reggie
if it was
Miller's
really
killer
the
mentality.
shoes.
Do you know how much
Do
better
you
he
know
would
how
be?
much better Reggie Miller would
what?
be if he had James Harden game?
If he had James Harden skills,
If he played in this time, yo, sure.
Yeah, yeah. If he played in the '90s, if he did James Harden scheme, he might have had a
I
fucking
love my
ring.
Troyland. I love my Troyland turn.
He would have had. He might have had 3.
I love my Troyland turn boo up against Reggie Miller because last episode he was like, nah, Reggie Miller. Now he's like, nah, fuck this Reggie Miller. Nigga.
When it come to James Harden, man, come on, man. I
James
ain't finna
Harden and Melo, like, what are we
disrespect
doing?
James Harden.
mentality shit. Hey,
Him and Harden is close. Him and Harden is close.
Hey,
He ain't
that's
got
a good
nothing coming
question.
against Melo.
GK, who you taking? Reggie Miller or Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler. He has more killer mentality.
Reggie Miller or Jimmy Butler?
They see they're not focused on me because they know I'm fucking around. They on GK ass.
It's like a wash for me, I think.
Well, you said 1v1?
We can move on.
Yeah,
we can move on. We can move
You
on.
said
What is
Jimmy
the
and
difference
who?
between the two?
Jimmy will win more.
You said Jimmy and who?
Jimmy
Reggie
and
Miller.
Reggie Miller.
I don't see it really.
Jimmy clears on defense, by the way. Clears.
Yeah, I could see
Clears.
Jimmy. I could see
How?
Jimmy beating Reggie more times and easily than the other two.
Reggie didn't play defense?
No.
Like we gonna pick Reggie Miller. He saw what that guy did in real time, bro.
He
him. It was
guarded
him.
his man, if that
him.
makes any sense. He like
He
stood
guarded
in front of him. You know what I
Jimmy
mean? Like,
clears on defense. Clears.
he wasn't a defender.
I think Jimmy beat Reggie easier than the other two and more times.
I would agree with that because he defensively he can stop him.
It's not that crazy.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's
He
way
can
better.
really stop. Reggie Miller is limited once he start putting the ball on the ground. Like he's limited. That's what a 1v1 is. He's going to have to put the ball on the ground.
Did you know? Fun fact. Did you know Shaq could dribble the ball?
Yeah.
Like Shaq had
Early,
him.
Yeah.
early Shaq definitely could dribble.
Hey, last question, and then we can move on. GK.
Yeah, but
I just
it's
wanna know one
hard
more
because
thing.
the ball travels so much farther.
Yeah, I know he's a big man. Yeah, I'm just saying. Fun fact. Go ahead, G.
And last question, then we can move on. Are you taking Reggie Miller or are you taking Prime Ray Allen? I'm not talking about Boston. I'm talking about Bucks Ray Allen. I really want to know which one you're
Supersonics type
taking.
shit.
Bucks Supersonics. Yeah, that little era. Which one are you taking? Reggie Miller or Ray Allen?
Well, I'm a Boston fan. I'm going Ray Allen, even though he wasn't on Boston yet. Nah, I'm playing. I'm taking Ray. Ray was a killer on Sonics.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ray. I think their production is probably
Yeah,
back to the same.
I could definitely see Ray getting around Reggie on the defense and getting to the rack, dunking it. Like,
I think Ray
I'd rather
can
have
just
Ray
do
on
a
my
little
team.
bit more offensively than Reggie could. Like
yeah.
that's just what it
And
is.
then
He
I
could
could see
actually
him like
If I could have one on my team, I'd rather have
stroking that thing in Reggie's face.
Bro. Yo,
look, man, we know what he meant. He's stroking that thing. We know what he meant.
Let's get to this guards list, bro.
Oh shit!
Yeah. It's gonna be spicy.
Yeah, we get to this guards list because
after the first five, it should. I think the first five.
No,
we don't agree on these first five. We have.
Let's get through this real quick because this is quicker. All right, TBT real quick. TBT.
Go on.
All right. 09-010 Hawks versus the 2022 Grizzlies. All right. Cousin Marcus, I'm just going to read some categories. You're just going to tell me who you're taking. We're going to try to get through this fast so you can have some time to talk at the end. And then, go from there. I got the orders already. It's as you came in. Trent, G-Baby, Boo Out, GK, and Marcus. All right. Let's get it. 09-10 Hawks versus the 2022 Grizzlies. Trent, offense.
I'm going to say Hawks.
Hawks.
Boo Up.
I'm gonna say Grizzlies.
GK.
Grizzlies.
Cousin Marcus.
Grizzlies.
Defense.
Probably say Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Boo Up.
I'm gonna say Hawks.
Cousin GK.
Memphis.
Cousin Marcus.
Hawks.
I ain't saying your names no more, so know your order. Better coach.
Hawks head coach, it was Mike Woodson. Damn. 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 I'm gonna say Hawks. Fuck it.
Hawks.
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Grizz.
Better bench.
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Hawks.
Grizzlies.
Grizz.
You said Grizzlies?
Yeah.
6 man.
Who's the Grizzlies 6-man?
Oh, the Grizzlies? Kyle Anderson, I think.
And then
Jamal Crawford for the Hawks.
Oh, Hawks.
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 Yeah, Hawks.
Oh, I ain't hear him say nothing. Yeah, Hawks.
Best playmaker.
Grizzlies.
Hawks.
Grizzlies.
Say Grizzlies.
Grizz.
Toughness.
Grizzlies.
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 Chemistry.
Mike look like that. Sure, like disappointed like a motherfucker. I say Hawks.
What was it? Chemistry?
Yeah.
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Memphis.
Grizzlies.
How fucking wet behind these. Who would you rather play?
Grizzlies.
They're the tougher team.
Grizzlies.
To play.
Hawks.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, I would say the Hawks.
Who wins?
Wait, I'm lying. I'll say the Grizzlies. I would rather play the Grizzlies.
That makes no sense. Who wins?
Damn. I'm gonna say, damn. I'm gonna say Hawks.
Hawks.
Memphis.
Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah, I can discuss.
Why did y'all all say playmaker for Grizzlies?
You said what?
Why did y'all all say best playmakers on the Grizzlies?
John Morant.
Who's a better playmaker than John Morant on the Hawks?
Who?
Yeah,
Who?
I would
He wasn't even on that team.
I would have said
he was on
that team.
He was Mike Bibby. Those were the two.
Mike Bibby. That's who was on the team. Mike Bibby.
Yeah, they averaged 4 assists.
Mike Bibby won. Mike Bibby won. That was old Mike Bibby. Old ass Mike Bibby.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I've never considered John Morant a playmaker per se.
32-18, the Grizzlies.
Like Jeff Teague. No. Especially this year. Hell no.
You all got to consider him a playmaker.
Gee, baby, you got to YouTube John Morant playmaking because it is goddamn impressive.
Nah, y'all got to explain to me how y'all go toughness.
I said he was a bad one. I just don't consider him.
Y'all got to explain to me how y'all go toughness.
That's because he does
Grizzlies,
other things better.
Chemistry, Grizzlies. Who would you rather play Grizzlies, but who wins 3? You pick the Hawks?
I would rather. Only reason why I said toughness to Grizzlies is because they went 20-3 without John. That's why I picked them for.
And plus,
then you said the Hawks will win.
I think
matchup wise, I think the Hawks.
I think the Grizzlies would win because I feel
like you're not in this, GK. I want the guys who picked the Hawks after saying toughness, chemistry, and who would you rather play as Grizzlies.
I think Al Horford, Josh Smith.
But they're super close to me though.
Yeah, it's close, but I think Al Horford, Josh Smith,
better than the other.
Jamal, Joe Johnson on the team, and
but do you remember the way that they played basketball?
Okay, I will tell you why I picked
categories. And then
chemistry.
You say who wins, and you pick the opposite team.
I did all 3 of those. Toughness, I gave them to the Grizzlies. Chemistry, I gave it to the Grizzlies. But I can explain it. Toughness, you don't have to explain. We already know that. Chemistry-wise, that team went 23-2 without their best player. That's why I picked them for chemistry. I don't believe the Hawks would have went 23-2 without Joe Johnson.
No, that's fine. Keep going. Who would you rather
play? Okay, now what else you said?
Who would you rather play?
I said I would rather play the Grizzlies.
And then who will win?
Because I don't think that even with John Morant,
will win?
I said the Hawks. That don't mean nothing, Troy. What does that mean? This is a category. I picked the Hawks to win because I believe they're the deeper team and they play better defense.
Supposed to sum it up for
I don't think they play better defense. And I think
that's who wins is supposed to sum up what you picked in the rest of the list to sum up who you think will win this matchup. You can't go this team has all
I've never
done
it like that, to be honest.
Every time I'm always sitting here baffled, like, why do you guys do it this way?
Oh, so this has just been building up and you finally bringing it up.
I think if you can focus on limiting Joe Johnson, then like it
I don't care if you said the Grizzlies.
Do they have anybody that can do that?
I don't care if you said the Hawks will win. It just don't make sense that you would say this team is tougher. This team has better chemistry. But you would rather play the team who's tougher and has better chemistry, and then you think the team.
I think Atlanta is
has better chemistry.
Wait, Troy, I said Grizzlies have better chemistry.
Has less chemistry.
Wait, Troy, I said Grizzlies have better chemistry. I thought
chemistry was 4-1. It was 4-1 chemistry.
I probably was
4-1. Who would you rather play? 4 people pick the Grizzlies.
If I would have asked you the same question, go ahead. I was going to say if this is 0-4.
I picked the Hawks have better chemistry though.
I would have picked Hawks better chemistry. Who would I rather play? Would have been the Hawks for the same reason you guys said the Grizzlies were tough, right? I would have picked the Hawks, and then who would you rather? Who wins? I would have said if I would have said toughness, I said Hawks. I would have went with the Hawks winning, but I'm not gonna say Hawks, Grizzlies. Like I'm not gonna what? It don't make sense.
I think a team can be tougher, but that doesn't necessarily make them
don't make you better.
But you're adding all the toughness and the chemistry, and then who would you like? It's
Yeah.
only
like I'll give you a perfect example.
So 3 people.
I'll give you a perfect.
3 people said they had the better offense. 3 people said they had a better defense. 3 people said they had a better coach. 4 people said they had the better bench, right? 4 people said they had the better playmaker. 5 people said they had better toughness.
Let's get one thing clear.
4 people had chemistry. 4 people had who would you rather play, and then 3 people had the Hawks. I don't understand it. So that means
I
that
picked the Hawks.
all of this, at least 2 of you picked the Grizzlies almost straight through, and then picked the Hawks to win.
I picked the Grizzlies on every single category. I think.
I picked the Hawks on offense. I said they had the best offense. I said they had the best defense. I said they had the best. I said offense, defense, and
lose?
bench.
If they have a better offense than the
I
Hawks.
picked the Hawks to win.
How do they lose? If they
picked the Hawks to win, Troy.
No, if you pick the Grizzlies, right? I'm not talking to the people that I'm saying. If you pick the Grizzlies for offense and defense, right, and you're also one of those people who then pick the Hawks to win, it's what I'm saying. It makes no sense to me. You pick offense, defense, playmaker, toughness, chemistry. You would rather play the Grizzlies when they have all this shit stacked against the team. Like it's.
So I'll give you an example. And this might work. I would argue that on paper, the Pistons in 03 or whatever it was were not better than the Lakers on paper. I don't remember exactly who was there.
Exactly.
But
I don't think they were a better team on paper. I would in that time I would have rather played the Pistons, even though they won. I did not want to see Shaq and Kobe.
But are you telling me that you just think that this team is so much better that this team is just going to beat them?
I think they're better by like this much.
But give me 5 more teams. Give me 4 more. That's
the other Pistons.
Perfect example. I could do that, but I'm not. I'm not even gonna go there. The Mavs were not better than the Heat.
Okay.
I would have rather played the Mavs every single time.
3 more.
All right, let me keep going. Let me get into my bag. Let's see.
Let me go on Google.
No, but
I gotta remember who won.
Y'all think the Grizzlies would have got swept by that?
I got you. The Raptors. I would much rather play the Raptors in 2019 than Steph, Clay, and KD. Every time. I would much rather play the Raptors.
They didn't play Steph, Clay, and KD. They got injured.
Yeah, what if you know the injuries don't happen?
That's different. Obviously, if I know the other team is hurt, I'm gonna take advantage of the hurt team. If I know that, of course, like that's different though. I can say that every year. If I know somebody's hurt on the other team and it's one of their best players, I'm gonna play the hurt team. I can say that every single year. So, I don't necessarily like that as a counterpoint, but that's just me. If I'm gonna keep going, who else made the finals and probably shouldn't have been there, or probably I would much rather play the Sixers every single time in 01. Every single time I would much rather play the Sixers.
Give me 2.
New Jersey Nets.
Both times.
Wait, you saying you would have rather played the Sixers than who?
Than the Lakers. I think you said than the Lakers.
Yeah, than the Lakers.
But all right, so what you saying? All those teams. So all of those teams.
But I would say that they were more. Yeah, I know. But
wait, all of those teams you would have said had the better offense, better defense, better coach, better.
No. So what I did,
and then the other team would have won.
No, I'm applying it to me because I said I in the Atlanta I said they had the better offense, defense, and I said they were going to win. I would have said that the Lakers had a better offense, defense, and would have won.
Did you pick the Grizzlies to win?
No, I picked Atlanta to win.
Okay, so then you're out of it, G. Like that.
You get mad at all of us.
No, I said who I was pointing to in the very beginning. Ain't no facts. Y'all don't listen. This is the
because I picked
chemistry, toughness.
For the people that picked Grizzlies chemistry, toughness, chemistry. Who would you rather play? How could you then pick the Hawks?
I did that. I did.
That's what I said.
I did that. But I said Atlanta had the better offense and defense. So I did pick Grizzlies.
I'm fine with you. But I still don't see how you say the toughness. I give it to you because you picked the offensive things. But for you, the two of you, the other one that picked offense, defense, and then picked the other team, I ain't too happy with you guys right now.
I feel like this is pent up aggression that's been building up.
I understand it. Y'all do this shit every time. I just be sitting like, how did they get to this point? Just how did they get to here? They get to this damn point.
Everybody sees something different, man. That's the beauty of it.
100%. I just thought I should share my feelings. That's all.
Okay, so since we're here, can I just add, can I just get this out the way, because I genuinely need to ask this question.
I thought this
since we're combining point guards and shooting guards. Since we're combining point guards and shooting guards, y'all do know who the top 5 is right now, right? We should know the order, but we all know top 5 is MJ, Kobe, Magic, Steph, and D Wade, right? We know that's the top 5, right?
Yeah.
Because as long as we know that's the top 5, I'm cool with the rest
of
the top 5.
That's the top 4. That's the top 4.
Who better
MJ, Kobe, Magic, and Steph.
Who better than D Wade?
That four sounds pretty legit.
Who's better than D Wade?
Jerry West.
Jerry West, Oscar Robertson.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna say Oscar. I'm gonna say Jerry.
I mean,
if you're gonna say Jerry, you gotta say Oscar.
Why is it oh your goodness?
I mean, the only pushback I would have is I was watching film with Jerry West in it, and it didn't look so great.
I don't know what you would do.
There's nothing y'all can tell me. There's
a
better basketball player than
Wade. GK searched the worst film, Jerry West, and then that's what came up.
Kobe needs to go over Magic. I know we're gonna get to that later, but Kobe needs to go over Magic.
Yeah, I got Kobe over Magic.
Me too.
Yeah, but we can get to that later.
AI not gonna be on this list, you baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he might not. After you mentioned Russell Westbrook,
but I definitely think Jerry West and Oscar Robertson should be on this list.
They could be under D Wade, I guess.
I think Harden should be on this list.
Why are they under D Wade?
I think D Wade is just a better basketball player. There's no other way to put it.
What are we going on? Are we going on who's achieved more or who can play better?
Oh, if we're going on achievements, Jerry West damn sure ain't on his list. 1 and 8. He damn sure ain't on his list if we're going off achievements. I'm putting IT over him. I'm putting J Kidd over him. I'm putting
how?
J Kidd.
How?
Now you can't put J Kidd for his achievements. He ain't win shit.
When he has a championship,
1 and 8. 1 and 8.
You just saying you just bringing up a finals record. I'm talking about everything he's achieved.
I'm sorry, you lost 8 times, bro. I'm not doing that with you.
He made it there 8 times.
So what? He made it there 9 times.
Everybody should be better than him then, like everybody ever.
Right.
I mean, don't ask me.
The man is a scoring champion, assist champ.
I'm not a Jerry West guy.
Like, what are we doing here?
You might not want to ask me because I don't like Jerry West. I'm talking.
So if he was 1 and 1, then that would be better to you.
I'm not gonna hold you. I probably still wouldn't put Jerry West on this list, but that's just.
Oh, so it's not the finals record then, because you just.
I mean, but I genuinely. No, it's not that I don't like. Jerry West
don't
is
like nobody that played basketball before 1997.
2005.
It's not even 1997.
It's 2005.
Like, I'm not gonna hold you. 2005. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I tell people all the time. Like, I've stopped ranking Kareem as a late because I'm like, like Kareem was there in the 80s. I get it. Like, I genuinely like. I'm just saying I genuinely don't like ranking players before Magic and Bird came into the league. So like 1980, whatever that was, I don't like ranking players.
Why not?
Like I just because every time I hear arguments, I don't think there's ever an argument that you could ever say.
Because he hasn't watched the games.
A lot of those players, you could say they're better than like.
Just be honest.
Like I never understand like Kareem over guys like Hakeem and Shaq. Like I never understand it.
You should be able to understand it.
I never. If they go accomplishment wise, I get it. Most MVPs, most points, 5 chips. That's it.
I think personally, the only reason why people have Kareem over Hakeem because like what's his name, like the longevity that he did.
Like, and don't get me wrong, I like longevity. That's why Kareem has always. That's why out of all like the old heads, like Kareem, Bill, and Wilt, Kareem is the one that makes it for me. But I've stopped that now. I've stopped it. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I totally forgot about John Stockton.
Like, yeah, but
John Stockton should not be on this list.
No, I know, but I forgot
John Stockton to fuck up out of here, please.
He should not be on this list.
Please get him out of here.
I'm glad we agree on that at least.
Y'all hate on John Stockton.
No, he got to get
that
He's
guy.
just not. He's nowhere near this list.
He's not a top 10
Why?
guard of all time.
Let me ask why.
What you mean? Why?
This nigga Troy
because all these guys we're about to put on him are better. Can Isaiah Thomas go on this list?
All these guys.
I don't think Allen Iverson on this list.
Yeah,
I understand. Yeah, he's not.
James Harden got to go above Stockton. whatever.
Okay.
Can Isaiah Thomas go on this list, please?
He can.
And Chris Paul.
He can too.
See, D Wade needs to
Why
be
Chris
before both.
Paul?
What?
I think D
Oh, yeah,
Wade
you
needs
still
to be
didn't
before
put
Chris
D-Wade on
Paul.
here.
D
Oh
Wade
yeah,
needs to be
and
before
D
Chris
Wade
Paul.
needs to be on this list.
Wait, GK, what do you mean by that, bro?
I think IT can be
Everybody
over
just
him
loves
though.
Chris Paul.
Wait, what do you mean? Nope, niggas don't fuck with Chris Paul like that.
Especially after this past year, nobody fuck with Chris Paul like that.
Or Troy.
They just call him a
I don't
loser.
know
They
if Chris
call him
Paul
a
on here though.
I
would put him on here.
Oh yeah, but
I'm trying to see.
look at Troy trolling.
What is the
Yeah, he-
criteria?
What are you talking about? How I'm trolling?
I'm going
Eli
better
Manning, my
player.
boy.
I didn't put no Eli Manning. Who was the other guy you
You're the
guys
only
said?
one typing. Chris
Nah,
Paul.
He said you don't want to.
I got hacked.
I'm not gonna hold you, Steve Nash. I feel like Steve Nash need to be here.
No,
Why not?
I think.
Why not?
no,
I don't think.
he ain't
I don't
better.
no. John
Oh,
Stockton.
I guess
should be
James
here
Harden.
again.
I guess
That's
James
okay.
Harden.
James
Yeah.
Harden has to be.
As much as I hate him, you got to put Harden there. He shouldn't be that high, but
I think he should be 7.
Nah, he should get.
You think James Harden's better than Dwayne Wade?
Oh
No.
but why the fuck? See, why
No,
people
nobody worth listening to.
bro?
should think.
Honestly, I don't think Jerry and Oscar should be that high, but I know I'm the younger one.
I think
so
he-
I'm not gonna argue it.
I think Harden should be 9. Harden should be 9 and move everybody up 8, 9.
I don't
Hey, Isaiah
I
should be
got-
8.
I got him
D
9.
Wade 9.
know.
I don't want to stay on it too long, but I don't think I can live in a world where Jerry West and Oscar Robinson are better than Dwayne Wade. personally.
Well, die
Or
then,
Isaiah
G.
Thomas.
God
Or
damn.
Isaiah
Die.
God damn.
Die,
Man,
G.
tell me
Damn.
to
You
die.
can't live. God
G.
damn.
Die.
You gotta stop being that way, bro. God damn.
That's crazy. I just don't think they're better players. That's just me personally.
He
I'm
said,
talking about you
Yeah, I
can't
think-
live in a world where people
Like, I
think
think
that though,
James
G.
Harden is better than Isaiah Thomas. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Nah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I think he's a
No.
better. I think he's a better.
I feel like Trent is one of the
he
few
was more
times that's just
productive,
not
though,
biased
for
in
sure.
you. Productive, yes, but I think that's one of the few.
So
times
hold
that's
on.
not
Wait, G baby. So G baby.
Yes, I know I'm biased with AI.
So hold on. I know I'm a Houston. I'm a Rockets fan. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
But you're trying to say bro.
I'm not saying you're. I said this
Okay,
is
but
one of
look
the
though.
few times
So
you're
G
doing
baby,
it.
can you see James Harden being above Isaiah Thomas?
I can see it. I just disagree.
So hold on.
I
But
get
you
why
can't
you're
see-
saying it.
But you
I
can't
get
see-
why you're saying it.
You can't see boo up and Cousins Marcus' point of how Jerry West is above D Wade. Like I disagree on it too, but you can't.
I get it, but you know how I feel about them old dudes. Anything before Matt, you know how I feel about it.
you should learn how to.
So I stay with that. So that's why I don't want them there. But I see it. I get it.
Nah, you gotta
If
know how
I ranked
old
people
dudes
from
feel
there,
about
I
I just feel like you have to take into account how much they were killing the people in front of them.
That's
like,
adorable.
Doing that, James Harden got to go.
He's saying
I
throw the
don't-
whole
like,
year
that's
away.
adorable, but
You say throw it away, G.
Yeah.
you can definitely
It
throw
don't
away
count.
the 70s. You can definitely throw away the 70s.
Why you gotta throw it away? Why you
This
can't
Michael Magic, Kobe,
value it?
I mean, it's just the weakest era of basketball ever. But
Exactly.
I know that. I say that all the time, and I don't like
Michael
take
Magic.
everything from
I
that
wouldn't say
era like
throw it
it's
away, though.
super
Throw it away is
impressive.
crazy.
No,
I
you
just
can't
don't,
throw it away.
I genuinely don't care about it. That's
Let's
just
get to it. Top 3: Michael Magic, Kobe.
Kobe needs to be above
Kobe
Magic.
Facts.
personally.
Leave it
Kobe
like
needs
it
to be
is.
above Magic.
Yeah.
How many in favor for it?
Yeah.
In
Of
favor
of changing
What is
it
the
or
moving
moving
Kobe over
to
Magic.
two?
Like I
Hey,
think
me.
Kobe was better than Jordan. So
I think Kobe is better than Magic as well.
Wait, what you say, GK?
He
I think
said
he's better
Kobe's
than
better
Jordan.
than Jordan. He's one of those.
What the fuck?
Oh, riddle me this.
what is the criteria?
Why would you say that?
What is the
It's,
criteria?
it's whatever you value. It's whatever you value.
Right. I'm
Yo,
trying
that
to figure it
killer
out.
mentality, my chill.
The killer mentality. That's what we're ranking.
Where do you think Kobe got his mentality from? If we're gonna do that, where do you think he got it from?
Kobe better than Jordan? I never get that. I never will.
That's a
think he-
TikTok.
There's a small percentage of NBA fans who
They
genuinely
definitely do
think and
think that.
believe that. But
It's a
9
small
times out of 10,
percentage, for
all of
sure.
them are Lakers
Like I don't
fans.
like
I don't know.
like,
I saw Jordan get smoked pretty badly a few times, and I've never seen
I
Kobe
done
get
seen Kobe
smoked
quit.
in that way.
I done seen Kobe quit. Now what?
Oh,
You ain't
Lord.
never seen Jordan. I mean, wait a minute. Hold on. You You see Jordan get smoked.
Is this the list?
I want to know who smoked him. Yes, please. That's fine. I want to know who
AI crossed him up in his rookie year. Did he not?
My God! I've seen Allen Iverson steal the ball from Kobe Bryant as well. So let's keep it going. Allen Iverson, that's a true story. That's how I became an Allen Iverson fan.
I'm just doing this to troll you guys because you guys have no rules.
I saw Allen Iverson steal the ball from Kobe Bryant, and that is how Allen Iverson became my favorite player.
You don't understand what I'm doing right now?
That is a true story.
You don't understand what I'm doing right now?
Doing bullshit. GK, I think he's a better basketball.
It's because y'all have no rules.
No, I'm basing it off of who I think.
What is the criteria? No one's been able to get
I'm basing it off of who I think the better basketball player is.
At that point,
which is why I don't think Jerry and Oscar
the whole fucking thing needs to change.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I mean, that's what
I said. It's so different.
So GK,
why does it need to change?
GK. So what would have changed, please? What would have changed?
Troy, can you pull it up? Can you pull it back up real quick?
Yeah, please. Troy.
I want to know what changed. Oh, you did? Okay, that's fine.
I deleted, bro. Come on, bro. Troy, bro. Come on.
I was like, you keep everything in files and notebooks and stuff.
Because if that's the case, we gotta put Kyrie on there.
G-Baby.
No, you don't.
Kyrie is not a top 10 guard all time, bro. What are we doing?
You keep changing the rules.
So hold on, who was Kyrie?
Wait. I want to know. Who's Kyrie better than?
He's back.
Who is Kyrie Irving a better basketball player than on this list right here? Please.
James Harden.
Who is Kyrie Irving a better basketball player?
I put him at number fucking 1 then.
Who is he? So he a better basketball player than Michael Jordan?
Put him at number 1.
Yo, GK.
Put him at number 1.
GK. Kyrie Irving is a better basketball player than
Put him
Michael
at
Jordan.
number 1.
Hey, Troy. Hey, I got timestamps. I'm sending this one to you right now.
Troy.
The professor at number 2.
Yo, GK. So Kyrie Irving a better basketball player than Michael Jordan?
He said put the professor at number 2.
Holy shit.
Bro,
That
GK
shit is
trolling, bro. What do
comedy.
you mean by that? Like he being nasty,
man.
bro. It's the same shit when he talking about that Ray Allen KD shit. This shit is gross,
You don't
bro.
know what I'm
So
doing
GK,
right now?
who the fuck is Kyrie better than on that list, please?
Everybody.
How?
Fuck him.
He's better at playing basketball.
How?
Fuck
You
him.
can
I
explain
don't
it.
know.
You
That's
can.
what I was trying to ask you guys, and no one can
GK,
give me
you
an
can
answer.
explain it, nigga. We can. We can explain
Nobody
why.
gave me any explanation.
We can explain why.
Hey, so look. This is
It's
the
just who
explanation.
better,
Michael
man.
Jordan is a
Michael
better
Jordan's a
basketball
scorer.
player than Kyrie Irving. Scorer, more efficient.
He's
The
a better
only thing
defender,
Kyrie has is
more
a better
impactful
3-point
to his
shooter.
team.
Achieving productivity is not the same.
What are you saying? GK, we just said he's a better defender. He's more impactful to his team. He's
Because
a
if
better
you're talking about that, then Oscar needs to go up.
Who is Oscar Robertson more impactful on that list?
Yeah,
Please
who-
tell me. Who?
Impact
rise over?
team also has to do
Who
with
is
you being a better
who
player.
is Oscar Robertson more
Because you keep
impactful in the top
saying
5,
one thing
please?
or the other. You're saying stats, and then you're saying playing
I
basketball.
never said stats.
Nobody said
And then you're
stats. Nobody
saying
said
that.
stats.
You keep
Stats
saying
never
that.
came out of my mouth.
Nobody said
Stats
one
never
thing.
came out of my mouth. I said
No,
who's a
I
better
said
basketball
he's
player.
great. I said no
And
steals, nothing.
impact goes into determining who are better players. Impact is part of who's better.
So GK,
Michael
who's
Jordan
that top 5?
clears Kyrie in every single aspect
Michael
other
Jordan
than
can dribble
3-point
the
shooting.
basketball better than Kyrie? I don't think so.
You said what?
Dribble the basketball?
Come on,
Okay.
GK.
Kyrie has a
Come
better
on.
handle. That's cute.
What?
Kyrie has a better handle. That's cute.
Okay.
That's it. So
Shooting.
three-point shooting and a handle. That's it.
Okay.
Michael Jordan clears it. Everything else, he's a better playmaker.
GK,
He's a better
do you think
defender.
defense
He's a better
is a skill?
rebounder, scorer.
GK, do you think defense is a
Impact to
skill?
winning.
Do you think defense is a skill?
Of course.
Michael Jordan wipes Kyrie Irving's defense as a defensive player.
Bro, Michael Jordan wipes his
No,
ass with
you're missing
Kyrie
the
on
point.
defense.
You guys are missing the point. The point I'm trying to
This
make
is
is you guys
one
are
wild
bending the rules for every single player.
GK, nobody has bent the
How?
rule at all. Nobody. When you asked me what the rules were, I said I'm doing it off of
Has
who was
anybody
the better
noticed
player.
that
Impact to
every
team, who's better defensively, offensively.
do a top 10
All
who's
that
the
goes
better
into
player?
who's a better player.
You think?
This happens.
The term better player is very loose.
So who is Oscar Robertson more impactful than that?
Because
He
is
was
it
in the
more
top 5.
talented? Or you could consider the
No,
better
talented doesn't mean better player. We all know this. Just because you're more talented than somebody
Don't
does
mean
not mean
better
you are
player.
better. Everybody knows this. Because if that was the case, Kyrie should be top 5. Because I think Kyrie's
That
a
was
top
my
5
point.
talent. Everybody knows Kyrie ain't top 5.
But talent doesn't mean who's the better basketball player, bro. That's
like come on. We know this.
You guys are literally making my point for me.
How the fuck?
Where's your frustration?
Nobody changed anything.
This is how I made it become whole full circle.
GK, we always said better player. We never said more talented. We always said better player. That was what we always said. That has stayed the same.
Yeah, but I think everybody's definition of better player is not the same.
That's not my fault that you have a different definition.
What would change on the list?
Yeah, on a better who's Oscar Robertson a better basketball player?
That's what I'm asking because I don't understand the list. I don't understand it.
Why don't you? So what's wrong with it? Like what?
I don't know because I don't know what we're doing.
Oh my God, GK, who's the better player? If you think Oscar Robertson is the best player on this list,
what is your process?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I look at this different, so you can't even ask that.
But if you want my specific,
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand how you arrived at that.
GK, nobody's going to have the exact same criteria. We are all different people. But overall, we have a simple understanding of who a better basketball player is. Everybody knows Michael Jordan is the best basketball player on this list. Like I know you are not asking me based off what. You don't think Michael Jordan is one of the top 3 players of all time? Best guard ever? Like, I'm sorry, GK, you should know this answer. I'm sorry. GK, I'm sorry, you should know that.
I'm asking you if to someone who's never heard of the word basketball before, and you're saying that to them, how do you?
I got you.
Can I get the ISO? Hold on.
I'm gonna let Cousin Marcus.
Hold on. Before you go, Cousin Marcus.
Because everybody's explanation is not going to be the same.
Hold on, I just want to say this.
So I'm asking you, what is yours?
All right, G. I'm gonna kick it to Cousin Marcus after I say this. G, K, welcome back to the fucking show. Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead, Cousin Marcus.
So go ahead and ask your question again, GK.
Like the one I just asked?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you arrive at that? Like, what are your steps when you're thinking about doing it? Like, how do you get there?
Do you mean me or do you
what
mean
are the considerations you take? Like,
do you mean me or do you mean people in general? Because it's 5 other people in here.
All right, I'll just ask you then. Just you.
For me, I would look at I lean toward career value because I feel like your career is representative of what you are as a player. And I feel like if you really that special and maybe you might be in a fucked up position, the basketball guys will align shit for you. So I'm looking at like what you actually did in your career, what you achieved relative to the rest of your era and history. Skill set matters to an extent, but it's more about how impactful you were on the court and what you achieved for your team.
Okay, so basically, you're predominantly weighing in on how much impact.
Can I give you a short?
How much impact you made on the floor, and the achievements you were able to accomplish.
For the most part, yes. There's some outliers, but for the most part, yeah.
Okay, and so I would say that that's fair. But then when you start bringing in skill set in involved, then that is not. That changes it.
I agree. But that's the separation between
in today's game, you can take the worst player in the league against the best player in the league 60 years ago, and he's gonna shit on him. But he didn't achieve shit.
He might.
Andre Drummond is shitting on Bill Russell.
But that's gonna be the separation between. But that's the separation between me, an individual, and then somebody else, an individual. Like I might be winning the way I'm winning.
If you go back and watch Bill Russell tape, and you see him getting 10 blocks a game or whatever he's getting. And you watch all of those blocks, I'm fucking blocking that guy.
Okay, so then wait. I got you, GK. So let me ask you a question. Why is it crazy then when I say Jerry West and Oscar Robertson should be lower? Because James Harden would whoop Jerry West ass. James Harden will whoop Jerry West ass.
Did you not say because he ain't watched the game though, GK?
Yeah, you said you didn't watch film on Jerry West. You ain't watch film on Oscar. I don't need to.
You don't think Dwayne Wade will bust Jerry West ass
every time?
You're 15 times out of 10. You're missing the point.
You don't think that wouldn't?
No, because you're being inconsistent.
I'm saying
you came at me because I said Jerry West and Oscar Robertson should be lower than James Harden. Because that was the main thing. I said D. Wade and James Harden should be higher than them.
Because
but then you just said right now, Andre Drummond would shit on Bill Russell.
What Oscar Robertson was doing against the people he was playing against, right, is the same or better. Not that saying like if they're playing in the same game, obviously, because the skill set, the evolution of the skill set has grown like exponentially.
So, but GK, what's your?
So then, why do you think that Andre? Oh my gosh, man.
So what's your logic?
Why do you think Andre Drummond would shit on Bill Russell?
This should be the logic. This should be the logic.
Wait, hold on. But you literally just said Andre Drummond would fuck up Bill Russell. So using
you said you would fuck up Bill Russell.
Using your logic, Dwayne Wade should give Jerry West a fucking 100.
James Harden should whoop Jerry West and Oscar Robertson ass. And that's how this started.
I'm not debating that.
But earlier you came at me for... No, you didn't. Earlier you came at me for saying Jerry West and Oscar Robertson should be lower than D Wade and James Harden. And you said no, you shouldn't. You didn't watch the games, G baby. That's what you said earlier. So no, you're not agreeing with me.
Which part you value? If them against each other or them against the guys that they had to play against?
What? What do you mean?
I get what he's saying.
Are you comparing them against each other, or are you comparing them against the guys that they played against?
And that's what it should boil down to, man. Like, trying to put guys in different areas, we already know we can't do that. We know that James Harden is a more skilled player. That's just how that's how the game works. It's going to keep evolving. Players are going to be more skilled every 10, 15 years. We see that. But you still have to factor in what these players have done. For me, it's simple. It's when production meets success. That's how I look at it. Because you can be a productive player without the success. But all these guys that we just put on this list, except for probably like the bottom two, which was Chris Paul and James Harden, haven't got to the promised land or haven't won a title or something like that. It got to be heavy production with the success.
You're right, but that's why when he asked me what I'm doing, I said I'm going based off of who I think the better basketball player is. Because basically,
you're talking about skill set.
But that's
in a sense.
Yes, he's talking about skill set.
Yes, me, and so I do that.
Then I can see why you would want Chris Paul on there. But if we're not talking about skill set,
but GK, I've literally been saying the entire time that's what I'm doing, and you've been giving me pushback for it. That's why I'm so heated.
It's not necessarily you. It's as a collective because not everybody's on the same page. Because that's why
I told you I'm not part of the collective.
Yeah, it was just everybody's not going to be on the same page.
I said this is just me. I said everybody's gonna have a different list because everybody thinks differently. But me personally, I'm going off of best player. Then you asked me what that entails, and I never answered it. So let me tell you, I'm going off of stats. Obviously, have something to do with it, but I'm going as your ability as a basketball player, skill set, and impact to winning. Impact to winning is what calls it, which is why I understand why they want to put Jerry West and Oscar Robertson on it. I don't necessarily hate it, but I think James Harden and D Wade are better basketball players than them, which is why I would have them
up.
But
that's what I mean. Then we would have to make a list. It's like trying to make two different lists in one.
It's really not though, because it's only we're gonna vote on these type of lists with this panel right here or whatever.
I was about to say because nobody disagreed with
because
the top
then I would agree with G Baby that Jerry West and Oscar Robertson and anybody that played in the older eras shouldn't be on it at all. But if we're not talking about that, then they need to be on it.
I
just said they shouldn't be above James Harden and D Wade. That's me personally.
And that's not ridiculous, but I just think those two players accomplished more as they at their peaks. I just think they were slightly better than D Wade, not by much, but just a little bit. And James Harden.
I mean,
but you mean in terms of like
get to a finals
impacting, like
no, he might have. I can't remember. I know he had some deep playoff runs.
Oscar?
Didn't he get to a final?
He won one with Kareem. Did he not?
He did.
Yeah, he won a chip with Kareem.
Not
as the man, though. I don't think he never been to the finals as the man.
He never won as a man.
Didn't he get there though before Kareem got there?
No.
He kept losing to Bill Russell like in the Eastern Conference Finals or something like that.
But G Baby, that means Dame will be on this list too, right?
Don't get me started on Kareem. I'll tell y'all that much. Don't get me started on Kareem.
G baby. That means Dame will be on this list over Jerry West and them too, right?
I mean, if we're gonna count accolades, no. But I think
No, I'm saying
Lillard is a
based on
better
your
basketball
list.
player.
Yeah.
I don't think Damian Lillard's top 10, but there's a lot of guys I would put on this list before Jerry and Oscar. There's guys we ain't mentioned that I think T-Mac is better than both of them.
G-Baby, based on your logic, I agree. Dame is a better basketball player than Jerry West.
Yeah, that's all. That's what I said. That's what I was doing. Yeah.
So they just shouldn't be here.
10. That's what I said, but it was nasty.
What makes Dame better? He looks better.
I mean,
no, but that's what I mean. Bro.
I mean,
he does, but
that shit kills me.
His hashtag
his skill set.
His hashtag
also.
Even though I'm a skills guy,
Dame has a severely
you're not gonna push it because it sounds nasty.
Than they do.
It do.
It sounds nasty because it sounds like you discrediting Jerry and Oscar.
Wait, what he say?
Does he what? Does he what?
What does Dame do that Jerry West can't do on the court?
Shoot.
Jerry West could shoot. He was like
Jerry West could definitely shoot.
Great
I had to throw it out there before somebody else said it. I'm not saying that. I agree. I agree with you guys. I'm on your side.
Yeah, like what does Dame do that Jerry West couldn't do?
Yeah, GK. What does Dame?
But
do
now
that
we're
Jerry
going back
West
to
can't do?
productivity.
No, I'm talking about skill.
I'm
talking about skill. You
said he's a more skillful player.
You said Dame is a more skilled player. So what does he do?
But then you tried to argue with that with Jerry could shoot too.
I think he just doesn't
because he could.
Personally,
he could.
I think he does.
Oh my God.
You said he's a way more skilled player.
If you take one
I didn't say
jump shot.
Oh no, I did. I said way better.
Just one jump shot, and they both go in. One is allowed to be better than the other.
So why is Dame better?
But they are both equally.
I think Dame does everything better than Jerry West. I don't think it's about Jerry West can't do something. I don't think it's about Dame can do something that Jerry West can't. I just think Dame does everything better than Jerry West does.
What?
Yeah, like what?
Everything.
What?
Like
what?
Everything. Everything that comes with basketball.
What?
Like
so how?
Passing, scoring, playing.
Other than your eye test, what production say this? Right.
Oh,
he's not a better
shooter. If I go to stats, I'm asking if that's what you're asking me to do.
I'm trying to figure it out because that's other than your eye test. That's the only thing I have to go off of, basically.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
If I didn't watch basketball, you just say Dame's better than Jerry West. He just do everything better. I'm just going off your eye test then. The stats don't matter then.
So,
Jerry,
I got you.
So let me give you this example. So let's say there was a league above the NBA, right? Like a next level league. And let's say you take all the take all the tape of Jerry West and all the tape of Damian Lillard. Yeah, right. The same way you take tape from college players going into the NFL when you're scouting them, right? So let's say they're both you take their tape, but you say that they're 18 going into the league, and you're just evaluating based on film, but you don't know what year it's from, you don't know nothing, and you're just looking at the game tape, and you're looking them as draft prospects. Mm-hmm. Like Damian Lillard's draft tape is going to be looking a lot better. You're going to be looking at this guy and saying like,
based on no, that's not cool.
So you have to differentiate
based on what is it going to look better? Like what's going to look better than I'm going to see?
What's going to look better is the fluidity. Like Dame is going to look like
more. You use the perfect word. That's the only thing that I'm going to say looks better. Is Dame moves more fluid on the court. That's it.
This is what you're going to see. You're going to see the 1080p quality in him playing basketball. That's it.
Yeah. Right, that's fluidity though. Like he's just gonna look.
No, GK. Like what you saying? Like Dame's just gonna look better. What else besides the fluid? I'll give you that. He's gonna look like more of an athlete than Jerry West. But what else basketball wise?
Like,
he's a better.
And that's fluidity. I'm saying outside of that, what else is gonna look better?
He's a better ball
because Jerry West can shoot at the same.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that Jerry West played when they didn't have a 3-point line.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and he still averaged more points. He still averaged more points per game. He still averaged more points per game than
Yeah, like,
I mean, he was taking
averaged,
a lot.
hold
He was
on,
taking a lot more shots though. He was
shit.
taking a lot more shots though.
He was efficient.
Okay.
He was efficient,
I'm not
though.
saying he wasn't, but he was taking more
48% from the
shots.
field.
Hold on.
He was taking more shots.
He took more shots, so he averaged.
He was more
points.
efficient.
Hold on. He also got more rebounds than Dame. Why was that?
Now we're talking about.
Hold on.
I'm not gonna be rebounder for guards.
Hold on.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna die on this hill. Jerry West played before 3-point line.
All right,
I don't like going
a little ugly. You didn't want me to get the steals.
Nah, it's not like, but that don't. I mean, like, I just don't do.
I don't.
No, I knew. I was joking with the rebounds, but assists are the same. Steals is 1.4 higher, and he's better at blocking shots than him too.
So
out of all the tests that you can use, I think
Jerry
eye
West
test
has
is the
made
last one.
Jerry West has
The
played.
eye
Okay,
test
so-
is the last one.
again, Jerry West played
14
before the
seasons.
3-point line.
He
And I
played
don't like
14
ranking dudes before
seasons.
that, so
He played 14
I'm not gonna
seasons
die.
and made it to the playoffs 13 of those 14 seasons. Dame has played 10
I think
and been there 8. So he's right behind him, but yeah. 14 out of 13, I'll take that.
I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna die on this hill, but
No, you said.
Well, G-Baby, like, I just want to ask, like, do you
Vinny
take
Trace
into
has spent
account?
only once. Go ahead,
I can't sit in my chair over.
Do you take into account like how much a player moved the needle for their team, or no? Because
is that the same thing as impact to winning to you? Because if that's the case, yes, I take into account impact to winning.
Because like if you don't, then I would lean more all towards the new school. But if you do, then you have to include the older players.
I didn't say everybody in the new school better than everybody in the old school, but like I said before, I forgot Jerry West played before the 3-point line, and I don't like ranking dudes before the 3-point line, so I'm not gonna die on this hill. I'm not. Like, I totally forgot he played before the 3-point line, and
man,
I'm not going.
He'd average 38.
Right. So you have to respect like the impact that they made. But at the same time, if you're just talking about like capability, then I would be more towards the way you were trying to argue. But if you're not, then I would be more towards the other way. Because like I said, I literally just watched a game with Bill Russell and Jerry West in it, and it looked like terrible basketball. It looked like if you go watch 7th graders play a game, like they look better than
it's not a good argument.
The game has evolved.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying.
GK, you know how I like to do it when people trash talk players. I guess what? If we transported your ass right now with a remote control back to the 50s, Jerry West bust your ass, nigga. That's what would happen if you go back and play at that time. You wouldn't be saying, "Oh, it don't even look like it's."
Like GK,
you'd
like,
be like,
how
is this guy doing this to me?
Era, bro. They played in the fucking 50s, bro. Of course, basketball now is gonna look way better than it did in the fucking 50s. That's not.
I know.
He retired at the start.
The ball spins when they pass it.
And that's why you should look at it relative to their era.
That's why you have to do relative.
Right
to
in that era.
Yes, that was the whole point I was trying to make.
That's why people have Jerry West over like
people that they played versus comparing them against each other.
No, because if I'm better, if I was a tier 1 guy in my era for the entirety of my career, in my era, I was a tier 1 guy. And even though your era is more advanced or more skill, you tier 3, sometimes tier 2, I'm better than you.
Yes. Okay.
Relative to my competition, I was the man. You was trying to get there.
100%.
That's a really good way to articulate it.
I understand,
and that's really fair, and you really have to do that. And that G-Baby, like that's for you to let that sink in.
Ooh.
I mean, like I said, I don't like ranking guys before the 3-point line. I don't like ranking guys before Magic and Bird came into the league. Personally, that's me. That is me personally. But like, I recognize, like for example, Magic has always been in my top 10 all time. You know what I mean? Like Bird, I think is at 10 because Steph just passed him to me. But like, there's guys like I'll even use KG. You know what I mean? Like KG's like in that 11, 12, 13. Like I really haven't gotten that far. But like before like Steph came around, he probably could have made a case for top 10. You know what I mean? KG.
Get the fuck out of here.
What's wrong with KG? Not greatest best players.
What?
What's wrong with KG at 11 or 12?
That's pretty high.
Not counting guys before the 80s. What's wrong with KG at 11 and 12?
When you do that and you seeing like this the thing with the individual player.
Like just as your ability to play basketball, I don't think that's wrong.
Because like to what means? Because you could say, and I always just say this, like if you just saying 2K style, if I could just control this player, how good can he be? I understand that, but like isn't, and I'm not saying like KG has like excellent intangibles, so I'm not questioning his intangibles, but just in general, like to what end? Because if and KG is not like the worst example you could use because he was extraordinarily skilled, but to what end? Like relative to everything that happens around them, like how could you say?
I mean, also too, I that's why I say like impact to team as well and winning. Like, granted, I know they was losing. Like when I say losing, like I know they weren't like a trash team, but like take KG off of the Timberwolves. Yeah, so like
trash.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like what KG, like the little bit of success he had with them, like the little bit he had before he left, like considering what that team looked like without him on the court, like yeah, I think his impact to that team and impact to winning was huge. I think he's great on both sides of the ball.
How do you feel about KG missing the playoffs 3 straight years in his prime?
That's situational shit.
But it was situational. But it was situational. But it was situational when he was carrying them to 50 wins.
You right, but like we was on. You're not just saying teams were garbage as fuck.
But also too, so because of Marcus, because I know
those same garbage teams.
I mean, because of Marcus, because look.
I said he won 50 games with those same garbage teams.
No, because Marcus, because let me tell you, because I know.
So why can't you continue to carry?
No, yeah, because like me and you haven't spoken. Because like for example, there was a while where KG was getting overhyped, and I was one of the few people that was like, yo, like the way y'all hate on losers, bruh, like y'all giving KG like OD, like putting him above like Kobe and shit, like to me was crazy. But I'm also
this shit.
No, I'm not saying here. I'm just saying like conversations I've had. There was an era. There was a small period. You know what I mean? Like
when did people say KG was better than Kobe?
The clowns at the park.
There was
a particular crowd who will believe.
Hey, hold on. Just like how Bua we were saying about earlier, how people there's like that little percent that think Kobe better than Jordan. Oh yeah, I swear, I promise you. There was like it was like a month, like a good month,
a month and a half. Everybody was trying to say KG was better than Kobe. It happened. It shocked me too.
They out there. I know where they at.
But that's why I have KG at like 11, 12.
Please don't tell me.
Nah, I'm just saying like so that's why I'm saying like if we're counting like accomplishments and accolades and stuff like that, yeah, there's gonna be people that changes like Kareem. Like the reason Kareem had been in my top 10, and I said this on this show, I didn't want to be disrespectful to the guy who had the most points scored ever. The longevity, which I think is immaculate. Most MVPs, 5 rings or 6 rings, whatever it was. Like, I wasn't going to, like accolades-wise, yeah, Kareem got it. Like, nobody else has done it, you know what I mean? Like, Karl Malone, even though he hasn't won a ring, just what he did individually and the accolades he got is higher on my list than, you know, if you count that in, what's it called? Like, if I started counting those guys, Bill Russell would be higher in my list. You know what I mean? Like, so when we go to the accolades route, sure. But if I just look at me, like, skill set, ability to play basketball, and impact to team winning.
In their era?
What do you mean in their era? Or what do you mean?
When you're looking at it, you're looking at it in their era, too.
Oh, yeah. When I do the accolades and stuff, like, even though I think the...
No, I'm talking about even with anything. With accolades, skill, eye test. You guys don't look at it like...
I don't use relative to era as much as other people.
You look at it, you guys look at it through this lens of 2022, and it's like, oh, we got to see this type of basketball, and then you look back like, oh, what the fuck is that? That's not what we used to seeing, and it's like, oh no, that's garbage. We could never ever, the game of basketball could never ever be that. That's not where it started from. It's not the brick and the mortar of what we watch today. And it's like for me, it's like with younger guys, when you talk about old heads, you younger guys, you guys kill me with this shit because it's like. Without those guys that you discredit, without the guys that you don't want to count, guess what? You don't get the guys that you count now. We don't get none of them. What if the ABA took over? What do we see now? We don't know. That's what I'm saying. So to be like, oh, and you said it a little earlier. You said like, oh, you don't count guys before this time or building them. It's not on your team. Stop counting Kareem.
I don't.
Yeah, you stop counting Kareem, and it's like, but Kareem for years and years and years and years and years held one of the highest records in NBA. How could
Kareem if we're gonna get into the Kareem bag,
wait, but hold on.
Kareem for years and years and years was supposed to be dominating the era and only won once and won an MVP missing the playoffs.
You're talking about on the first half of his career, and then you leave out the second half. We went over this already.
If anything, I'm counting the second half and crapping on the first. Because I think the first.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about the first half, but you don't count the second half where he won his championships at.
But
he had an adequate
he won them with a
right. But we could do that in history of every superstar, everyone. We can do that in the history for every single one of them. One with somebody, whether they drafted them to a team or whether they got traded to their team. Every superstar has one with
Kareem. The thing with Kareem,
when you talk about the second half, he didn't.
And Magic was drafted on the team.
Yeah, that's no.
So for them to get Magic, at what draft pick did they take Magic?
No, he got one. He was first pick,
right? And what was their record for the year before that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They had the playoff team the year before.
No, but
how the hell they get the one pick?
I think what people talk
about, that's how that shit was going in the 80s.
I think what people
Boston had already picked Larry Bird like
no, I know
2 years before he was drafted.
Troy, but I think when people talk about Kareem,
I'm trying to close out.
And they have him lower is that like, yeah, he like when his prime he played like as Boo said me agreed on, he played in the weakest era of basketball. He only won one ring, and then when he got to the 80s shit when Magic and them came, he was at one point he was the third best player on the championship team.
So why did he only win one ring?
He was getting in the 70s he got his ass whooped.
He got his ass whooped or his team got his ass whooped?
I think it was a series when he played in the 70s. I forgot.
How many of those series throughout his 10 years did he lose a playoff game or a championship game for?
I can tell you I did it before.
I'll have to look it up.
I'm looking at it right now.
You said how many years did he lose?
Because there was times when he
how many times did he?
Because there was a year
that it was his fault that they didn't get.
Because it was a year when he won MVP, they didn't make the playoffs. Okay. Like he won. There was a year he won MVP.
I'll take those out.
He missed the playoffs.
I think the 2 seasons where he got outplayed by.
I'm talking about when he made the playoffs. All right, GK. When he made the playoffs, how many of those series was his fault on why they lost? I don't want the record on where he made it or where they finished. I want how many of those games did he lose them? How many games did he lose them?
Okay, look.
Probably 2.
In the NBA Finals, he in 74 he lost in Game 7. Let's see. That was against John Havlicek and Dave Coins and them boys. Let's see what he did. Kareem averaged 32 and 12. 5 assists.
What he doing
last? Second option was 16 points a game. That's Bob Dandridge. Let's check Game 7 and just see what he did in that game. Game 7, he was 26 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. He was outplayed by Dave Coins. He had 28 points and 14 rebounds.
So that's a game that you're saying he lost because of him.
I said that's a game that's a letdown game more so than anything. He should have outplayed Dave Coins and won that series.
And 13?
Huh?
26 and 13, you say went? And the other guy went 28 and what?
14 on better shooting splits.
What year was that blow up? You said 74?
And what did Kareem's team do? Anybody else had 20 points?
But I can't use that for KG missing.
Nobody else had 20 points on Boston.
Oh, so it was just Moncrief versus.
It was just really Dave Coins, who was I think the MVP that year. He might have been the MVP.
Was that one of the years you were saying that it might have been too?
No, I wouldn't have used that one.
So
I think that Celtics. Yeah, I think that Celtics team was just better. I think Kareem was carrying more than like Hondo and them was. They was more of a complete unit. And
I agree.
even if you say he got outplayed, it's not to an extent that I'll be like
that you would put the series on him, right? Okay.
I wouldn't put that on him. I would.
I'm not putting it on him. I'm just saying he could have played better.
It's not putting the series on him, Troy.
My point, but what I'm saying is when you say a guy played in a weak era and he didn't win when he was supposed to dominate the era, you have to calculate what goes into it. Why didn't he win? Was it his teammates? Was it him?
He only went to 2 finals though.
I'm talking about in the playoffs. Why did he lose the series?
In his prime, in the prime of his career, Troy, he still missed. Nobody saying he choked. Nobody said he choked.
Nobody said he choked. Nobody say he choked. The thing is, people talk about Kareem sometimes in a bad way because he played in the 70s and the shit was still split.
And I understand it, but you
can argue that Dr. J was better than Kareem at the time. He wasn't even in that league.
Kareem had nothing to do with 2 leagues being split.
But exactly. But if you're the best player in the league, dominating,
Trent, you cannot put that on him and be like, "Well, you were in this league, but the other person was in that league." Guess what happened?
Troy, if you're the best player in the Troy,
he's not doing that.
You cannot blame. No, you are. You're holding it. You did the same thing the other day, G baby. You're holding it against.
You got a nitpick, man, when you coming at these top 10 guys, man. You got a nitpick.
I don't. You can.
Everybody does.
No, I don't.
You do it.
I don't.
You do it.
I got a
Kareem
question
is
for you.
second on my list.
Okay, but look,
Kareem
Troy.
is second
Okay,
in my
so look,
all-time
Troy.
list.
That don't mean you. That don't mean you don't. I didn't say you did it to Kareem, but you do it to other players.
Wait,
everybody
Troy, Buwop, and Cousin Marcus, who in the 70s?
I'm not nitpicking. That is what I'm saying.
Who came close to him as the best player in the world?
Because the leagues were split. Something.
Nobody.
Nobody. Was he by far the best player in the world?
So who was opposing? Who was opposing?
Troy,
who was the guy in the other league? Dr. J.
But Troy,
who was opposing him in that league?
Be by far the best player in the NBA. Again, when the league was split and you're winning MVPs, missing the playoffs, that's not acceptable.
You can say that's not acceptable.
So what does that mean, Trent?
Imagine if Michael Jordan.
That's why people. That's
why in his prime only won once.
And I understand that
because you should appreciate this. Here go Jokic won the MVP as a 6th seed, and people trash him for it. Kareem won an MVP and he literally did not make the playoffs.
No, and I understand that. That point, we talked about it. I won't dispute you, but what I'm saying is when you're talking about the first 10 years of his career, you got to look at went into it. I don't care if the leagues were split because that's not on him. That is 2 guys coming up with a concept, both getting a business started up, and then try to raise that business up until they both looked at their ratings. It's like the best thing for us to do is merge. What happens today if we still have the NBA and the ABA? What happens? Are we still talking about, LeBron's in this league? Well, it's a weak error because you know what? He's playing in a weak league because Giannis is over here in the NBA. We're not saying
Troy, can I answer that? Troy, can I answer that?
We're not saying that.
Troy, I want to answer that real quick. So let's just say if it was still NBA and ABA, right? And LeBron didn't have to worry about Steph or KD or even right now Giannis, or even more so.
Giannis is in the ABA. We're not sitting here saying that it's a weak league because you know why? The talent is so far better now.
No, that's not where I was going with it.
Guys to replace it. That's what I'm
saying.
That's
true.
Yeah, but that's not.
Because
that's not
what we're doing with Kareem.
No. That's not what we're doing. We're saying
Dr. J was in the other league and he couldn't play him face to face because the leagues were split. Well, I got to hold that against Kareem because he didn't win no championship.
No, that's not what we're
even looking at the teams that won the championship.
It's not.
But no, my thing is, like I say, imagine if Jordan, imagine if LeBron in the 2010s, more so Jordan, in the prime of your career, you won once. You won once and you was missing playoffs.
How old was Kareem when he won his last MVP?
I'm not talking about that. He was I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in his prime.
What's the year Kareem missed the playoffs when he won MVP?
76.
Yeah, that I'm not going to do. I'm not fighting that. You can
I think that was 75, 76. His first year in LA, I think. Might have been
when was the last year Kareem won MVP?
I'm looking at it right now.
You can have that shit. I'm not going to fight.
1980?
Yeah.
Okay, in the last year he won MVP, he was still averaging 32. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Was
in his prime.
That was in 19. Troy.
He was in his prime till he retired.
Troy. That was in 1980. He was not in his prime in 85, 86, 87, 88, and 89. No, the fuck he wasn't. He was not in his prime.
Yeah, he was not in his prime.
He was not in his prime.
Goggles Kareem went in at the end. Come on, Trey. Come on.
Oh man. Tell me what he was
I would say his prime.
11.
His prime.
11 and what?
Are you dead ass right now, bro?
4.
11 and 4.
11 and 4.
He was killing it, man. Y'all niggas crazy.
Man,
No, I think if you're a 20-point scorer, it's hard for me to say that you truly out your prime. Like he averaged 27. You know what I'm saying? Like
he was averaging 30 at 34 years old.
So you can say.
At 34, that means he went to another team and still could kick it how he was kicking it. So you're counting the first year, he didn't win in the 10 years, but he can still sling that thing the way he was slinging it in the back 10 of his years, and it's just like, he had to wait till he got on the
He was not doing it to the same amount. He was not doing it in the same way.
No, he was not. When I was in LA,
he was not. You said slinging it the same way he was in his first 10 years.
Yeah, slinging it. That means his
from 1980 to 86. He averaged 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists, 2 blocks on a championship caliber team. That's pretty good to me.
Yeah,
that's not prime.
We're not saying this. We're not saying
that's not prime. That's not prime, but
in his prime, he's the best player in the world, or at least in the conversation.
Or he's the second best player on the team. There was some points when they won, Kareem was the third best player on the team.
It's just because for them players in them days too, like their peaks were early. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like usually guys start playing their best basketball like year 4, year 5, where Kareem came through the door basically playing his best basketball. Like, you know what I mean? 30 and 15 your rookie year, like that shit hard to top.
Like, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So what's the grand summary here about Kareem?
Crazy.
The way I feel about Kareem, he was clearly the best player in the league, and he was dominating. He only won once. He was winning MVPs, missing the playoffs, and then he went to the Lakers, and then they drafted Magic and the boys, and he was winning. Cool, great. But in his prime, in his peak, he was losing. He was losing.
And what does that mean?
I'm not going it's cool to win when you got a great team around you and you're not the best player on the team. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Most players of his caliber win.
But what does that? What does that mean though? Like I get everything you said, I understand, but what does it mean?
I don't think he should be rated as high as he is. He's only there because of the accolades. Put it like that.
I wouldn't say
At his best, he wasn't winning. He was losing. He wasn't getting it done.
He
was winning
won,
MVPs, though. Missing the playoffs one time.
He won a ring, though.
One time with Oscar Robertson.
Yeah. Right, but
with Oscar Robertson that was on the verge of retirement.
Right. All this.
Even then, even if you want to say that, right? Let's just say from 72 to 78, who was the best player in the world?
Kareem.
Yeah, Kareem. But
so what is that? So everything you saying kind of don't even lead up.
But if you're the best, it's not even just that he was the best player in the world. It's that it was by far nobody could touch him and he was losing.
Okay,
like nobody came
by
close.
You saying that,
winning
so how can you say that and then say he shouldn't be as highly rated when you just said yourself after he won his ring for another 7 years at least he was still the best player in the world
because so basically his impact to winning wasn't as high as people think it is. That's the point.
But honestly. it was still the best in the league.
It was.
You already said he was the best player. So what you about to walk back?
No, I'm not walking back nothing. He's still you could be the best player in the world and lose.
I'm looking at this Bucks.
So
I never discredited that he was the best player in the world. I'm not saying he was never the best player in the world at one point. I've never disputed that. If anything, I know he was, but the fact that he was losing so much. Like, bro, I'm sorry. You winning MVP, missing playoffs and stuff. I'm not giving you that. I'm not giving you that love, bro. I'm not giving you that.
He lost.
That happened one time too. Like I bring it up too, but it was one. It ain't like he won.
I literally think he was the best player for 10 years.
And Walt Frazier.
So if he was that good, like I feel like you like not properly reconciling the fact that he was the best player and he wasn't winning, and you just said you can be the best without winning. What does it like? What does it really mean, or what does it really matter?
Who said that? Who could be the best without winning?
G baby.
Oh, okay. That's G baby.
When did I say that?
No. I'm not saying not winning at all. Like he won. Like not every. Of course, he didn't win every year. He was still the best.
He lost to the Knicks, and who was on that Knicks team?
Walt Frazier, Willis Reed, Dave DeBusschere, I'm pretty sure.
He lost to the Lakers. Who was on that team?
Jerry and Wilt.
No, it was Jerry West, Wilt, Elgin Baylor. It's like that's what I say. Like when you talking about,
isn't that the year Elgin Baylor retired midway?
Who was he losing to?
But look here,
I guess just plumbers and rock setters.
I would like for people to stop acting like
and put them down. I said it in the beginning. You can say it for every player. I said it in the beginning. I said it in the beginning.
You keep the same energy with every player though.
I just want people to stop acting like he did it by himself though.
Every player. But don't you shit on James Harden?
Nope.
I do.
In his first finals,
antics. For his game or his antics.
In his first finals.
His game was antics, Trent.
I'm just saying. Like the who did he play to?
No, his game was antics.
I'm just saying.
His game was antics, Trent.
I'm just saying.
What do I shit on?
I shit on him for both.
I shit on him for his antics, not his game.
Check this out, though,
James
man.
Harden can still play ball, so don't try to twist it. I'm not shitting on nobody.
This the team he won his ring with, man.
I'm just saying, like, if we go into like the who did he play to and him coming up for multiple years and years, then like everybody should get past it like that,
bro.
No, I just keep this inconsistent.
Kareem had hella help on that Bucks championship team.
If you're gonna sit here and say, "Oh, James Harden won," I'm gonna go and look at.
Can I know who he won with? Can I know who he won?
Oscar Robertson averaged 24, 5, and 9.
Didn't they have Bob Dandridge? He's
on 52%.
If you're gonna say that
Bob Dandridge 20 and 10.
If you're gonna say James Harden has never won a championship, I'm gonna look at who he lost to on his road of getting close to a championship. Okay, he lost to the Warriors. All right, they're a better team. All right, he lost to the Warriors. All right, they're a better team.
Hey, never mind. I'm not going
to. They got beat by Willis Ritter and Frazier, and y'all like, yeah, he just in a decade just not winning.
Can you do the same thing?
James Harden just ain't built like that, bro.
Hey, can you do the same thing with Jokic because they just lost to the Warriors, the eventual champs.
Oh yeah,
and the
last time playoffs. Listen to what I say. I said close to a playoff. They were lost in the first round. Not giving them nothing.
To the Warriors.
To the Warriors.
Without Jamal and Michael Porter Jr.
Trent, where did the Rockets?
Are we gonna look at the full thing?
Trent, where did the Rockets lose to the Warriors at?
In the Eastern Conference Finals. And
he
lost them in the first round, Eastern Conference.
Right. And what I said was if the Rockets, somebody says James Harden has, I'll repeat myself. If somebody says James Harden has never won, I would then go look at who James Harden played. All right, look, he lost to the Warriors. Where at? And when he gets close to a championship,
we talking about these Kareem teams that he when he set for a championship. But Troy, we're talking about these Kareem teams on the Bucks. We act like he had like no help or some shit.
No, I'm not saying he had no help. And that's why I said earlier, it goes to the team too. It goes to the team too. It goes to the players that's on his team. I don't just like blaming one person. I don't.
So if that's the case, why don't you give? So Jokic playing with Monte Morris.
I don't like saying LeBron is the reason why. No, it was the team. The team wasn't adequate enough to beat the Warriors. It wasn't just LeBron out there.
Jokic and them.
When the Heat lost to the Spurs,
all know that.
I'm not going to say it.
Everybody know that.
Oh, it was LeBron who lost.
Oh, you really going to say in 2011 and the Heat that was really because okay.
No,
you saying the Heat wasn't.
No. I just think you know my opinion on the Mavs. I think the Mavs just outplayed the Heat. Y'all know my opinion. I've said this before. I don't know why I think they outplayed the Heat.
I just want somebody right now. Hold on. Who was the best player in that 2011 series?
Dirk Nowitzki.
Dwayne Wade. His team.
I was like Dwayne Wade. Honestly,
I know it was.
No, why was it Wade?
No, it was
Dirk. More productive. Dirk had a bad series, low key. I think he shot like 40.
Then it was Jason Terry.
Something like that. Hold on.
You can argue Chris Bosh was better than Braun that series.
Sean Marion. Who you want? Jason Chandler. Who you want?
Dirk was shooting the rough, but when you needed him, he came up.
I don't know who you want.
Yeah, but I'm saying overall, you can't we gonna say that, but I think D Wade was phenomenal in that series. Like he was
phenomenal. He was phenomenal. They should have won.
For 10 years.
He was. He averaged.
Phenomenal. He was phenomenal.
I mean, I don't want to make it about us, but like the Nuggets lost to the Lakers.
I ain't gonna say phenomenal. He was great though. Like
last year without Michael
to win.
Last year without Michael Porter and Jamal.
He played well enough to win that.
Last year without Michael Porter and Jamal.
Oh, you just.
I feel like he would have won if he was there.
Yeah, go do your things. We out of here anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna see.
Anything to help to get the Nuggets a hand up.
I'm just using your same logic in the play.
No, I ain't got no logic.
Hey, you heard it here first.
All I know is y'all niggas need to better stop sleeping on Kareem before he skyhook y'all niggas to y'all grave.
I'm for sure
sleeping.
Jesus Christ.
I'm in hibernation.
What you say, G baby? What you say to G baby? Boo up, die. He said, die.
Because he just said he gonna die. He gotta die if he just see Jerry Weston. Like, damn.
Yo, this show was fire. But let's get up out of here. Final
Let's
thoughts.
do
it. We are going to get this fantasy situation handled because a lot more people said they wanted to do it than I was expecting. So we're going to get that handled.
Through on it, though, G.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I'm really not trying to do more than...
Once you say the money's... You got to put the money up. Niggas gonna be like, oh...
Yeah, because I really don't want to do more than 12. Like, 12 is the max I want to do. But if everybody comes through with the money, then...
Run a 2014.
I really don't want to, but hey, we're gonna figure it out by Friday. We're gonna get something going
24
on. We're gonna figure it out by Friday.
D Wade was 26, 7 and 5, 1 block, 1 steal on 54% shooting.
Oh, Nuggets and 6, Saints 2023.
Wasn't good there. I can't say he was better than Dirk.
He wasn't better than Dirk.
What he do? It was tied 2-2. What he do in them last 2 games?
He outscored Dirk. He out-assisted Dirk. He outstole Dirk. He outblocked Dirk.
What he do in the last 2 games?
He had a higher field goal percentage than Dirk.
Keep going, boo.
Check it out right now.
Get all that applause. Check it out right
now.
That applause. Still wasn't better than Dirk.
The gap between their teams wasn't wide enough.
Dirk won.
Don't ever think that's gonna be mine.
Opinion.
All right,
Mr. Wapu. Mr. Wapu.
Don't never be mine.
Say your name back.
D Wade averaged he had 23 and 8. 23 points, 8 assists.
That's not a superstar performance.
That's not enough.
Okay.
Not enough to beat Dirk and Jason Terry.
Shout out to the Jet, man.
That's right. It's not enough.
And 29 points and 6 assists and 6 rebounds is, huh?
29 points and 6. Woo!
Right.
Hey,
that's a great game right there.
Yeah.
Tell him, cousin Marcus, how we on the same page right now, cousin Marcus?
That's a great game.
Sure.
29 and 6.
Dirk wasn't a real rebounder either. He wasn't a real rebounder.
Sure. Tell me about another knock about him.
I'll take that 30 and 6. I'll take the 30 and 6. 30 and 10. I'll take the 30 and 6.
Sure.
Final thoughts, Boo.
Sure.
Final thoughts.
Y'all Wednesday night, man.
Cousin Marcus, final thoughts.
Go Cavs.
Go Cavs.
Go Cavs. Shout out to Bucket City.
No football?
Nah.
No. Little troll there, but yeah, guys, catch you on Wednesday. Yeah, we'll see you guys, man. Keep up.